Chapter 530. That's good. I can eat without worry then, Tian Soran said happily. Su Chuxia, on the other hand, frowned. What if Xiao Chang pestered her when the time came? She couldn't think of anything and could only follow him in. After sitting down, Tian Soran ordered a lot of delicacies. Li Yuanxiu might be fat but he couldn't eat much. He scanned the menu for a long time and asked, "Are there any vegetarian dishes?" "There are roasted mushrooms, roasted potato slices." The waiter said. "All right, we'll have that then." Li Yuanxiu nodded. "You don't eat meat?" Xiao Chen was a little curious. "Sigh, my childhood sweetheart told me to lose weight or she wouldn't want me anymore. I have to suffer because of love." Li Yuanxiu sighed. Xiao Chen asked. "Why didn't he lose weight then? Or did this guy get fat even when he drank cold water?" Su Chuxia ordered a bowl of exquisite wonton noodles and a plate of barbecued pork. It was obvious that her taste was more southern. Xiao Chen randomly ordered one and the waiter went to serve the dishes. Tian Soran ordered the most. She was surrounded by dishes and the waiter even had to add a trolley for her. This girl talked a lot, but once she started eating, she became speechless. Xiao Chen looked at Su Chuxia, who was eating in a refined manner. She looked very beautiful and artistic when she ate. No wonder so many people liked her. It was obvious that Su Chuxia was a very well-behaved girl. Even girls like Missy and Shen Jingxian didn't have Su Chuxia's manners. Watching her eat was a kind of enjoyment. If it was in the past, Su Chuxia would definitely be a noble young lady. "Su Chuxia, what does your family do?" Xiao Chen asked casually. Su Chuxia was slightly stunned. Then, she looked at Xiao Chen cautiously. "Nothing much. I'm just a normal salaryman. We're all from the military compound." Her parents are both in the military factory. Her father was a technician but he was transferred later. "I think it's a similar job," Li Yuanxiu explained. Su Chuxia frowned. She seemed to be blaming Li Yuanxiu for being a busybody, but she didn't say anything and continued eating. Xiao Chen furrowed his brows. Li Yuanxiu sure had a lot to say. To him, some things might not be a big deal, but Su Chuxia's identity might be exposed because of this. However, there were some things that Xiao Chen couldn't say. He could only pretend that he hadn't heard. He nodded and said, "Oh, what about Kai Wuliang's family?" "I fainted." Tian Suruan stuffed a piece of snowflake beef into his mouth, then slapped his forehead and said, "Xiao Chang, I'm telling you, don't cause any more trouble. Do you think I don't know that you are trying to find out about Kai Wuliang's background? There's no harm in telling you that the Kai family is very powerful in Lan City. Have you heard of the Surge Club?" "What's that? A place for surfing?" Xiao Chen asked. "It's a martial arts club run by the Kai family." Tian said sourly, "It's called a dojo, but it's actually a gang. The students inside are gangsters if they pick up knives. Don't provoke them." "Oh." Xiao Chen thought of Lu Zhenming. However, an opponent of this level was no longer worthy of Xiao Chen's attention. He was now guarding against those who were against Su Chuxia. This Kai Wuliang was obviously just a pursuer, so there was nothing to be afraid of. As long as he didn't use force, Xiao Chen couldn't be bothered with him. After the meal, Xiao Chen paid the bill. It cost a total of more than 1,000 yuan. It was really a high-cost place, but Xiao Chen didn't mind. He didn't know if Kai Wuliang had gone to the hospital or something. Xiao Chen didn't see him for the entire afternoon and couldn't be bothered with him. In the blink of an eye, it was time for school to end. Xiao Chen saw Su Chuxia and Tian Suruan leave the classroom. He quickly picked up his bag and followed them. Although it seemed like he was shamelessly pestering Su Chuxia, who knew if those people would make a move today? He could only follow behind and protect them in secret. Fortunately, the school was relatively safe, so Xiao Chen didn't have to follow so closely. However, what surprised Xiao Chen was that he wasn't the only one following behind Su Chuxia. There were a few other boys, but they seemed to be doing something. They were either reading books, talking on the phone, or chatting with their friends. However, in reality, their eyes were drifting over to Su Chuxia. Others might not be able to tell, but Xiao Chen's six senses were sharp. He immediately knew what these people were up to. They were probably a bunch of losers who had a crush on their goddess but didn't dare to confess. They could only look at her every day on the way home from school. Another possibility was that they were afraid of getting beaten up. After all, Kai Wuliang was very domineering. When they left the school, no one followed Su Chuxia anymore. Only Xiao Chen was left. Xiao Chen thought about it and didn't drive. The parking lot was on the other side of the school. If he drove back, Su Chuxia would probably be gone. Su Chuxia followed Tian Suruan and walked in front. After walking for a while, Tian Suruan seemed to have eyes on the back of his head. He suddenly turned his head and whispered to Su Chuxia, "Chuxia, that Xiao Chang is following you." Su Chuxia was stunned. Then, she was a little stunned. No way. Why is he so bored? He. Tian Suruan shrugged his shoulders. I guess it's a chi deviation. Look at what he did today. This person is too ferocious. However, he's honest and seems quite good. Why don't you consider him? If you get along with him, he will definitely treat you well. However, Su Chuxia shook her head and said, I've never thought of getting a boyfriend. Moreover, I don't think we're compatible. With his personality, he's too impulsive and likes to cause trouble. Suruan, tell him not to follow me. If he wants to follow me, then follow me. Anyway, he's just a bodyguard. Tian Suruan said, this Xiao Chang is so ferocious that even Kai Wuliang is no match for him. Su Chuxia sighed helplessly and didn't say anything else. When they reached the intersection, she parted ways with Tian Suruan. The two of them weren't going in the same direction. As for Xiao Chen, he naturally wouldn't follow Tian Suruan. Instead, he continued to follow Su Chuxia. Since Tian Suruan had already seen him, he would definitely tell Su Chuxia. Hence, he decided not to sneak around and followed her openly. Su Chuxia obviously knew that Xiao Chen was following her. After walking for a while, she saw that Xiao Chen was still behind her. She suddenly stopped in her tracks helplessly. Seeing that she stopped, Xiao Chen also stopped in his tracks and looked at Su Chuxia. Su Chuxia really didn't know what to do. How could this person be so thick-skinned? She had already discovered him, but he didn't have any intention of retreating at all. He was still following her. If she stopped, he would also stop. How could there be such a person? After waiting for a while, seeing that Xiao Chen still hadn't left, Su Chuxia couldn't wait any longer. She quickly walked forward and even increased her pace. However, no matter how fast she walked, Xiao Chen could still keep up with her. Su Chuxia arrived at the bus stop. Obviously, she was going to take the bus home. Meanwhile, Xiao Chen also followed her to the vicinity of the bus stop. After a while, a Route 82 bus drove over. After Su Chuxia waited for the bus to stop, she followed the crowd by the roadside and got on the bus. Meanwhile, Xiao Chen quickly followed behind her. It was rush hour, so there were many people on the bus. Fortunately, Route 82 was a suburban route. Although there were many people on the bus, it wasn't too crowded. Su Chuxia saw that Xiao Chen had followed her. She felt a little helpless. She could only walk to the back of the bus and find a gap to stand still. Then, she held onto the window to guard it. Looking out the window at the scenery that kept passing by, she was really a little annoyed. Previously, her impression of Xiao Chang was not bad. Although she didn't like him, at least she didn't hate him. She felt that other than being impulsive, this person didn't have any bad intentions. However, she didn't expect that this guy would follow her after school. This was simply something that a pervert would do. Therefore, all of a sudden, Su Chuxia's impression of Xiao Chang plummeted. She even kind of regretted having lunch with him in the afternoon. After Xiao Chen got on the bus, he didn't follow Su Chuxia to the back of the bus. He only needed to be able to see Su Chuxia. He didn't need to get too close to her. Even if someone wanted to harm Su Chuxia, they would probably kidnap her instead of dealing with her directly. This was because they wanted the information in Su Chuxia's father's hands, not Su Chuxia's life. Killing Su Chuxia would have no meaning or benefit to them at all. The bus went on and off. After a few stops, the number of passengers on the bus gradually increased. The bus also became slightly crowded. Xiao Chen subconsciously moved to the back of the bus, just in case. At this time, a young man with greasy hair and a powdered face who had just gotten on the bus squeezed his way towards Su Chuxia. This person's actions were very rude. The people on the bus were about to complain when they were squeezed. However, when they saw the young man's gangster appearance, they knew that he wasn't a good person, so they didn't dare to say anything. Xiao Chen frowned. This person's intentions were too obvious. He was coming towards Su Chuxia. However, Xiao Chen wasn't sure if this person wanted to take advantage of Su Chuxia or if he had other intentions. However, no matter what, since Xiao Chen was a bodyguard, even if this person wanted to take advantage of Su Chuxia, he couldn't just sit back and watch. Hence, Xiao Chen directly squeezed his way to Su Chuxia's side and stood behind her. He stretched out his arms and held onto the handrail in front of him. Xiao Chen was tall and strong. He directly covered Su Chuxia with his body. Su Chuxia obviously noticed something. When she turned around, she realized that it was actually Xiao Chang. She couldn't help but become even more annoyed. This person was actually starting to take a mile after giving her an inch. Although Xiao Chen didn't touch her, the way he was standing was almost the same as those couples. If the car swayed, she might lean into his embrace. What a good plan. When that happened, Xiao Chang would probably say that this had nothing to do with him because the bus was moving. Moreover, she took the initiative to lean into his arms because the bus shook. It wouldn't be good to argue, right? Thinking of this, Su Chuxia wanted to ask Xiao Chen to move away. However, she didn't expect that someone would speak before she did. Chapter 531. Kid, move aside. I'll go over. The young man didn't expect someone to beat him to it, so he was a little unhappy. He was a well-known public transport wolf in this area. He often did indecent things on the bus. He was about to get his way with a little beauty, but he was stopped by someone else. How could he be happy? Xiao Chen didn't bother with him at all. He couldn't even be bothered to talk to this kind of idiot. When the young man saw that Xiao Chen was ignoring him, he became even angrier. He grabbed Xiao Chen's clothes and tried to push him to the side. Move your claws away. Don't look for trouble. Xiao Chen turned his head coldly and looked at the young man as he warned him coldly. F***ck, I thought you were deaf. I told you to move aside, didn't you hear me? The young man didn't let go at all. Instead, his actions became more barbaric. It was obvious that he didn't listen to Xiao Chen's threat. When Su Chuxia heard the dispute behind her, she couldn't help but turn her head. When she saw Xiao Chang arguing with a young man, she was stunned. However, she only needed to take a look to understand what was going on. Su Chuxia knew the young man who was arguing with Xiao Chang. He was always loitering on the 82 bus and was a famous pervert. She was almost taken advantage of by him several times. Most of the time, Su Chuxia would hide far away when she saw him. If she couldn't, she would get off the bus and take the next bus. Today, the reason why she didn't guard against him was because Xiao Chang was on the bus. She didn't want to look at him. She was afraid that if she looked too much, Xiao Chang would misunderstand something. But now, Su Chuxia knew that this young man must have wanted to take advantage of her and was discovered by Xiao Chang. Then, Xiao Chang's action of protecting her before was understandable. This time, Su Chuxia didn't feel as disgusted with Xiao Chang as before, but she felt a deep sense of helplessness. This guy really thinks he's a flower protector? And he seems to be addicted to it. The key was that she didn't need it at all. If it wasn't for him, she would have been careful. Let go. Xiaochen gently swung his arm and shook the young man's hand to the side. F***ck. Su Chuxia was speechless. Why was he putting on an act again? Although this person was a pervert, he was a member of a thief gang nearby. If you offended him, I'm afraid there would be a lot of trouble. Aya? Pretty cool, huh? Are you going to move aside or not? This young man was also anxious. In this area, he was also a reputable person. Usually, his main profession was a thief, and his side profession was a pervert. Now that he had met someone who obstructed him, he was naturally unhappy. Although the people in the car also saw the conflict here, many people didn't understand what was going on. Of course, even if they knew what was going on, it was estimated that very few people would come forward. After all, it had nothing to do with them, and this young man didn't look like a good person at first glance. It was hard to say if he had a weapon on him. There are too many people in the car. I don't want to kill you, but if you want to die, don't blame me for being rude. Xiao Chen's eyes sharpened, and he stared at the young man coldly. All right. You're good. Let me see who wants to die. Being threatened by Xiao Chen, the young man immediately flew into a rage out of humiliation. He took out a switchblade from his pocket and opened it with a pa sound, pretending to stab Xiao Chen. Scram right now. If I don't kill you, the young man used the switchblade. When the other passengers saw this, they immediately dodged to the side in fear. Although it was a little crowded in the car, they still made a large space for Xiao Chen. Su Chuxia turned around and slapped her forehead. Oh my God! Do you know how to use a knife? She didn't know how the switchblade ran directly into Xiao Chen's hand. The young man was stunned. Just as he was about to scold someone, he realized that the knife in his hand was gone. He was instantly shocked, and he looked at Xiao Chen with some fear. However, Xiao Chen didn't care about him. He grabbed the young man by the neck, casually opened the window not far away, and with a swoosh, he threw the young man out of the moving bus. With a bang, he landed in the middle of the road. Behind him was an emergency brake, and the young man was almost killed. The young man was so scared that his face turned pale. He finally knew what a ruthless person was. He actually dared to throw people out of the bus. He was simply a fugitive. The young man escaped from death and scrambled away, but his heart was a little unwilling and full of hatred. Xiao Chen didn't care about this young man's life or death at all. He didn't care if he would be hit by a car if he fell down. Anyway, he deserved to die. Moreover, Xia Zhili would definitely help him settle it since it was Yang Tan who killed him. Su Chuxia didn't know what to say. How could this Xiao Chang be so fierce? It was a miracle that he hadn't been sent to prison because of an accidental injury. He had done something like a tiger twice in one day. First, he kicked Kai Wuliang off the roof of the school building, and now, he directly threw the pervert out of the bus window. These were all things that could kill people if they weren't careful. When that time came, he would be charged with murder no matter what. Su Chuxia couldn't imagine what kind of shocking things he would do if he continued to follow her. Looking at Xiao Chang, Su Chuxia wanted to say something, but in the end, she didn't. She felt that she wasn't as eloquent as Tian Suruan. Tian Suruan's words didn't work, so what she said would be useless. She could only glare at Xiao Chang. Xiao Chen didn't care much about Su Chuxia's gaze. He didn't really want to pursue Su Chuxia. He was just a bodyguard. He didn't care what she thought. As long as he completed his mission, it was fine. Xiaochen wanted to cancel the wanted order and quickly return to Songning. That was his home. The previous incident made the people on the bus very respectful of Xiao Chang. As for the bus driver, seeing that nothing had happened, he naturally couldn't be bothered to care about Xiaochen. He didn't want to get into trouble. The bus drove for a few more stops before Su Chuxia arrived at her stop. She was about to get off when she turned around and saw that Xiaochen was still hugging her and standing behind her. She was stunned. Previously, the bus was swaying back and forth, but Xiaochen didn't touch her at all. She thought that Xiaochen had already moved to the side. She didn't expect him to still maintain this position. This made Su Chuxia a little surprised. This wasn't something that could be done easily. It was easy to take advantage of her, but it wasn't easy to not do so. I want to get off. Su Chuxia looked at Xiaochen and said coldly. Oh. Xiaochen retracted his hand and moved aside. Su Chuxia quickly got off the bus, but Xiaochen followed her. Previously, Su Chuxia was still comforting herself that Xiaochen just happened to be on the same bus as her. He was just going the same way. However, now that she saw him getting off the bus, she couldn't help but frown. She stopped and turned around. She stared at Xiaochen with her big eyes. Do you want to go home with me? Oh, I'm going this way too. It's just on the way. Don't worry, I'm not going to your house. Xiaochen said with a smile. Really? Su Chuxia obviously didn't believe Xiaochen's words, but after listening to him, she could only say, okay, then I'll see where you are going. After that, Su Chuxia walked away angrily. Xiaochen still followed behind her unhurriedly. After walking for a while, Su Chuxia came to the entrance of a community. She suddenly turned around and shocked Xiaochen. Why are you still following me? Su Chuxia asked. I live here. Xiaochen said innocently, I rented a house here. Really? Su Chuxia was stunned. She looked at Xiaochen suspiciously, but seeing that he said it so confidently, she couldn't say anything more. She turned around and walked away quickly, ignoring him. Su Chuxia entered the community and came to the door of a unit. She opened the unit door. When she saw that Xiaochen hadn't followed her, she closed the unit door with a bang. Only then did she let out a sigh of relief. Humph, I don't have the key. I can't open the unit door no matter what. I want to see where he lives. Su Chuxia ran upstairs quickly, and Xiaochen directly opened the unit door. This was a piece of cake for him, but he didn't follow her upstairs. Instead, he listened from below. Based on Su Chuxia's footsteps, he could roughly tell that Su Chuxia lived on the 4th floor. As for which room upstairs, he didn't know, but it wasn't important. Xiaochen turned around and left the unit directly. He went out of the community and directly entered a real estate agent. Sir, are you buying or renting a house? The proprietress saw Xiaochen walking in and quickly solicited business. I'm renting a house. Xiaochen said, in this community, what kind of houses are available for rent? In this community? There are some. What are your conditions? Asked the proprietress. It's best if it's the 3rd or 4th floor of building number 5, or the 4th floor of building number 6 opposite building number 5, or the 4th floor of building number 6, said Xiaochen. Su Chuxia's house was on the 4th floor of building number 5, so Xiaochen proposed these conditions. Okay, let me see. The proprietress entered Xiaochen's conditions into the computer and began to search. After a while, the proprietress said, there is only one house that meets your conditions. It's room 401 in building number 4, but room 401 is finely renovated. The rent is more expensive than other houses. How much? Asked Xiaochen. He didn't care if it was finely renovated or not. Anyway, he was on a mission. He could ask Xia Zhili for reimbursement later, so he didn't have to pay out of his own pocket. 3,000 a month, starting at half a year. The proprietress said, it includes property fees, heating fees, broadband fees, and cable TV fees. This community wasn't considered a high-end community, and the location wasn't particularly good. 3,000 a month was a relatively high price, and the worst part was that the starting rent was half a year. Could Xiao Chen stay for half a year? However, it wasn't Xiao Chen who was paying anyway, so Xiao Chen directly nodded and said, "Okay, then let's take a look at the house, and then we can sign the contract." "Okay, give me the house key and entrust me with full responsibility. I'll bring you there now." The proprietress directly prepared to close the store and bring Xiao Chen there. "But I have to say in advance, if you want to rent it, you have to pay me a referral fee of 1,500 yuan, which is 50% of the room price. Of course, this is a one-time payment. When you renew the lease, you don't have to pay me anymore." Chapter 532. "Sure," replied Xiao Chen. No wonder the proprietress was so enthusiastic. She didn't hesitate to close the door and take him to see the house. The proprietress brought Xiao Chen to room 401 of building number 4. Xiao Chen was very satisfied with this house. It had all the household appliances. He could move in directly. Therefore, Xiao Chen signed the contract with the proprietress on the spot and gave her 20,000 yuan. 500 yuan was the deposit for water and electricity. Xiao Chen settled down for a while. He stood by the window and looked at the window on the 4th floor of building number 5. Although Xiao Chen's sixth sense was very sharp, he couldn't see clearly from such a distance. He wasn't a clairvoyant. After thinking for a while, Xiao Chen went downstairs. He planned to go out for dinner and find a place to buy a telescope. Now, he was a little regretful that he didn't ask Lu Shuangshuang for a telescope before he left. He still had to find a place to buy it. Xiao Chen found a snack bar and ate a bowl of noodles. It was really F***ing disgusting. Moreover, it cost 15 yuan. It was much more disgusting than the noodles at Kerlin's house. Suddenly, Xiao Chen thought of Kerlin. Speaking of which, he hadn't seen her for a long time. He wondered how she was doing. She didn't even know that he had come to Lan City. However, thinking about it, his relationship with her was very strange. This little girl always seemed to be afraid of him. After paying, Xiao Chen decided not to eat this restaurant's noodles anymore. He walked around and found a literature and education shop that sold telescopes. Xiao Chen bought a better telescope and returned to the neighborhood. However, he didn't go upstairs directly. Instead, he walked around the neighborhood and found a flower bed. Then, he planted 2 devil spear fruit seeds. These seeds were obtained from the herb garden in the ancient ruins. At that time, there were devil spear fruits there too. However, Xiao Chen didn't pick them because they would lose their effectiveness soon. Xiao Chen didn't know when he could leave or if he could make it in time. Therefore, he only collected some seeds and planted them here. After digging the hole, Xiao Chen infused some yuan qi into it. Then, he went upstairs and returned to his rented apartment. The first thing Xiao Chen did when he returned was to look across the building with the telescope. He set up the telescope at the window. Why did Xiao Chen feel that he was a little dirty? It seemed that many otakus had such things in their homes to peek at their goddesses. Xiao Chen took a look at room 401 and saw an old man and an old lady dancing in front of the TV. This was probably not Su Chuxia's house. So, Xiao Chen turned to look at room 402 and really saw Su Chuxia. At that moment, Su Chuxia was already in her home clothes. She was sitting in the living room watching TV. She had a glass of juice and a bag of popcorn in her hands. She was enjoying the show. Xiao Chen glanced at the television screen and realized that he was actually watching it with Cheng Menjing and the others. It was still the very popular school drama. He could not help but feel puzzled. Why were there so many girls watching this television? After observing for a while, Su Chuxia was very restrained. Although she could continue watching it on the TV box, she only watched one episode before returning to her room. Xiaofan quickly pointed the telescope in the direction of Su Chuxia's room. He saw Su Chuxia open her bag and take out a few books. She sat in front of her desk and started reading. She would occasionally scribble and draw on the side. It was obvious that she was revising. At around 8 p.m., Su Chuxia put down her textbook, stood up, and walked out of her room. Xiaofan looked from the living room and saw that she had gone to the bathroom. She had been gone for quite some time. Xiaofan thought that she had fallen in or encountered some kind of danger. Half an hour later, Su Chuxia came out with her hair dripping wet. It was clear that she had just taken a hot shower. However, she was still wearing her home clothes. There was no sign of her being exposed at all. Huh? What am I thinking? After returning to her room, Su Chuxia didn't continue reading. Instead, she picked up the music player on her desk and lay on the bed to listen to some music. Then, she got up and closed the curtains. She turned off the lights and went to sleep. What a girl with a regular lifestyle. Previously, Xiaofan felt that Su Chuxia was very disciplined in everything she did. She wasn't like the young mistress, who did everything randomly. After she went to sleep, Xiaofan lost interest in continuing to monitor her. He laid down on the bed and could not help but sigh. This day was like a dream. He was still in Songning City a moment ago, but in the blink of an eye, he came to Lan City. How was it? Did the mission go well? It was a text from Song Huawu. Xiaofan glanced at it and replied to her, "It was all right. But I offended the school bully. I don't know if he will bring people to beat me up tomorrow." "Don't kill people," Song Huawu warned. "If you kill him, you won't be able to stay here anymore." "I know, but I'm a man. It's more or less inconvenient for me to secretly protect Su Chuxia. What if she goes to the bathroom or takes a shower? What am I going to do?" Xiaofan said after a day of protecting Su Chuxia. "I'll see how it goes. If there's nothing else here, I'll see if I can apply to accompany you." "We'll protect her together," Song Huawu replied after some thought. "That's for the best." Xiaofan heaved a sigh of relief. Xiaofan basically spent the night cultivating. So, the next morning, he woke up early and went to the window to look at Su Chuxia's room. Su Chuxia only got up from 5 to 6 o'clock. She opened the curtains and the window to breathe in the fresh air outside. Seeing Su Chuxia's intoxicated expression, Xiaofan felt that it was quite amusing. However, the weather outside was already very cold. Su Chuxia took a breath, closed the window, and drew the curtains. After a while, when she opened the curtains again, she was already dressed. It was a very simple jacket. It was obvious that she was a cautious person. She never opened the curtains when she changed. After that, Su Chuxia went to the kitchen. She baked 2 pieces of bread and squeezed a cup of soy milk for herself. She turned on her tablet and watched the news for a while. After breakfast, she grabbed her bag and prepared to go to school. This kind of routine surprised Xiaofan. He didn't know how she developed this habit. Xiaofan went downstairs and happened to see Su Chuxia walking out of her unit. Su Chuxia also saw Xiaofan from afar. She was a little shocked. Her eyes widened in disbelief. When Xiaofan came over, she asked, "You really live here?" "Yeah, didn't I tell you yesterday?" Xiaofan said with a smile. Su Chuxia felt that something was wrong. But no matter how she thought about it, she couldn't figure out what was wrong. She shook her head and walked to the entrance of the residential area to wait for the bus. After a while, the 82 bus arrived. Xiaofan and Su Chuxia got on the bus together. In the morning, the smell of the bus was a little unpleasant. It was filled with the smell of all kinds of food. Chives boxes, beef buns. The smell was simply amazing. Su Chuxia found a seat by the window to get some fresh air. Even when Xiao Chen was chased out of the Xiao family, he had never taken a bus before. Now that he was experiencing the life of an ordinary person, it was really a tough morning. However, what surprised Xiao Chen was that Su Chuxia's family should be quite wealthy. Since her father was the person in charge of the research institute, and the research institute was related to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, how could she not have a private car? Or did Su Chuxia not like to be ostentatious and just wanted to be an ordinary girl? Finally, they arrived at New Moon Academy. Xiao Chen and Su Chuxia got out of the car. Su Chuxia looked at Xiao Chen, who was following her, and felt a headache coming on. Xiao Chang, you go ahead. I'll just follow behind you, Xiao Chen said. No, listen to me. Su Chuxia stomped her feet and was a little annoyed. What I mean is, I don't want to be in a relationship during high school. It's pointless for you to follow me. Moreover, if you follow me like this, Kai Wuliang will definitely be unhappy. He will teach you a lesson. Oh, it's fine. Then I won't be in a relationship. It's just on the way. If he wants to teach me a lesson, I can only try not to beat him to death. If I fail, there's nothing I can do. Xiao Chen said. You, do whatever you want. Su Chuxia turned around and walked away quickly. Xiao Chen smiled and followed. However, just as he reached the school gate, before he could enter, he was stopped by a few people in black suits. Who are you? Why are you stopping students at the school gate? The security guard at the school gate saw this scene and immediately walked over and asked the man in black. Don't waste time. Go away. The leader of the group, a man in sunglasses, pushed the security guard hard. The security guard staggered and almost fell to the ground. This man in sunglasses was still shirtless in the winter. He wore a tight vest, and the muscles on his arms were bulging. He didn't look like a good person at first glance. Xiao Chang, right? Xiao Chen nodded. You're looking for me. It doesn't seem to be a big deal. This idiot kicked young Master Kai yesterday? The man in the vest said to the people around him with some disbelief. Young Master Kai said that it was a sneak attack. A man with slicked back hair next to the man in the vest said. Oh, a sneak attack. The man in the vest nodded and said, okay, come with us. Where to? Xiao Chen frowned. Although it was fine to go with them, his current mission was to protect Su Chuxia. If he left and Su Chuxia was in danger, it would be troublesome. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen subconsciously looked at Su Chuxia. When Su Chuxia heard the quarrel behind her, she also turned around and saw the scene just now. When she saw Xiao Chen looking at her, she couldn't help but be a little annoyed. Why aren't you pretending now? Seeing these burly men, you know that you're no match for them, right? You even asked me for help. However, even if Su Chuxia thought so, she still couldn't sit back and do nothing. After all, the root cause of this matter was her. If Kai Wuliang didn't like her, so many things wouldn't have happened. Chapter 533. Su Chuxia had no choice but to walk over and ask the leader, did Kai Wuliang ask you to come? Who are you? A man with triangular eyes glared and scolded, get lost if you have nothing to do with me. F***ck off. The leader slapped the man's head, and his triangular eyes immediately turned into panda eyes. This is the girl that young Master Kai is interested in. Are you blind? With triangular eyes, you're just blind. Watch carefully next time before you speak. Yes, yes. The man with triangular eyes covered his eyes and quickly replied. Su Chuxia frowned slightly and said, since Kai Wuliang asked you to come, you should go back. This is my classmate. I can't let him go with you. I'm sorry, sister-in-law. Young Master Kai specifically asked me to bring him back. If I don't go back, I won't be able to explain myself. Although the man was very respectful to Su Chuxia, he was not obedient at all. This. Su Chuxia was a little anxious. She turned her head and saw that Xiaochen didn't care. She couldn't help but say, "Xiaochang, don't go with them. This is the school gate. They won't dare to do anything to you. That Kai Wuliang wants to see me. Let him come himself." Xiaochen thought about it. He still couldn't go with them. What if it was Kai Wuliang's trick to lure him away? "That's not up to you," the man in the vest said as he reached out to grab Xiaochen. F***CKU. Xiaochen kicked the man in the tank top and sent him flying. With a whoosh, he flew to the road in front of the school. At this moment, a car happened to pass by. As a result, the man in the tank top hit the front of the car with a bang and was sent flying again. The driver was obviously a powerful person. He drove a Maserati to school and knocked someone flying, but he didn't even look at it. He drove the car into the school parking lot. The man in the vest was hit until his face was covered in blood, but he didn't die. Xiaochen sneered in his heart. With his stage 2 inner force cultivation, he wouldn't die at this speed. The man with the slicked back hair and triangular eyes were dumbfounded. They pointed at Xiaochen and said, "You're sneaking up on us again. It's a sneak attack. What can you do?" Xiaochen smiled and said, "Pay attention, I'm going to sneak attack again." After saying that, Xiaochen kicked again, sending the triangular-eyed man flying. He smashed into the man in the tank top who was struggling to get up from the ground not far away. With a bang, he was smashed back. When the man with the slicked back hair saw that the situation wasn't right, he didn't dare to clamor anymore. He turned around and ran to check on the triangular-eyed man and the man in vest. "All right, see, I didn't leave with them, did I?" Xiaochen smiled at Su Chuxia. "I'm going to faint." Su Chuxia slapped her forehead, not knowing what to say. The two of them entered the school. Suddenly, Su Chuxia saw Tian Suruan not far away. She was a little surprised and quickly walked over. Xiaochen also followed closely behind. At that moment, Tian Suruan was looking around the Maserati. As she looked, she muttered, "It's over, it's over. Sister Suruan, I'm so unlucky today. I bumped into an idiot who hit my car. Sigh, it's over. It wasn't easy for me to borrow it, but the car's already broken on the first day." Xiaochen's eyes widened. It turned out that Tian Suruan was the one who sent the man in vest flying. How dare she say she's a tiger? This girl is really a tiger. "Suruan, did you hit someone with your car just now?" Su Chuxia asked. "Yeah, Sister Suruan was scared to death." "Is that person dead?" "I ran away quickly." "Don't blame it on me, I can't afford it," Tian Suruan quickly said when she saw Su Chuxia coming. "He's not dead. Even if he's dead, it's not your fault." "I kicked him into the car," Xiaochen said. "Ah. You're here too?" Tian Suruan saw Xiaochen and was stunned. She said, "So, you're the one who damaged my car?" "No, Xiaochang, you have to compensate me. This car is very expensive. I just borrowed it, and it's already broken." "Okay, I'll fix it for you." Xiaochen didn't deny it because it was really him who damaged the car. "That's more like it." Tian Suruan finally felt relieved. "I can finally report back." Su Chuxia frowned slightly, but she didn't say anything. She felt that she shouldn't have too much to do with Xiaochen. However, Tian Suruan damaged the car, so she really couldn't afford it. "Suruan, where did you get this car? Why do you drive such an expensive car? Isn't this just for fun?" Tian Suruan said, "This car was begged by Li Yuan." "Begged by Li Yuan? When did he buy such an expensive car?" Su Chuxia was a little surprised. She looked at the car. It was still new and didn't have a license plate. This was a Maserati CEO. The market price was about 1. 5 million yuan. Hey, hey, hey. Sister Suruan hasn't finished yet. This car belongs to Li Yuan's fiancé. Tian Suruan said. Su Chuxia was a little speechless. Suruan, you're talking too much. Although it's very familiar, it's not good to damage it. Fortunately, someone is responsible for it. Tian Suruan said, I'll contact 4S to repair the car in a while. The man in the tank top and the others limped back. At this moment, Kai Wuliang was sitting in the Inspur Club waiting for them to come back. However, they did come back. However, the tragic state of these people made Kai Wuliang stunned. Did you guys get into a car accident? Yes, young Master Kai, how did you know? The man in the tank top nodded. He was indeed hit by a car, but he was a little puzzled as to how Kai Wuliang knew. Damn, there really was a car accident. Kai Wuliang was stunned. I just guessed it casually. What happened? Young Master Kai, don't mention it. I tested him. That kid, Xiao Chang, has some strength. He's not an ordinary person. The man in the tank top said. Not an ordinary person? What do you mean? Kai Wuliang narrowed his eyes and asked. This kid has some skills. Although it was a sneak attack, he definitely has some ability. I suspect, he's also a martial artist. The man in the tank top said carefully. Martial artist? Stop bullsh asterisk ting. Just anyone who transferred here is a martial artist? He doesn't look like one. Did you feel that he has inner force? Kai Wuliang didn't believe it. I don't think so. After thinking about it, the man in the tank top shook his head. That's it. In my opinion, this kid has some brute force. His hands are quite agile and he's good at sneak attacks. Kai Wuliang said, how about this? Later, you find a few more brothers. After school at night, don't talk nonsense with him. Go up and beat him up. Don't give him a chance to sneak attack. With so many people, I want to see how he can sneak attack. I'll beat the old master to death with random punches. Alright, young Master Kai. I'll go and gather some people. The man in the tank top nodded and limped away. Looking at the back view of the man in the tank top leaving, Kai Wuliang pinched his chin and muttered to himself, I wonder where this Xiao Chang came from. Could he be from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? But it doesn't seem like it. The people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau aren't as high profile as him. This kid seems to have a screw loose in his head. Moreover, he only has brute force. Shaking his head, Kai Wuliang got up and prepared to go to school. He was late almost every day. Today was the 12th grade monthly test. Although it was called a monthly test, in fact, the 12th grade had a big test every 3 days and a small test every 2 days. It wasn't a monthly test. After the test papers were distributed, Xiao Chen wrote quickly. Xiao Chen had already learned these things very well when he was trying to win a scholarship in No. 2 high school. Therefore, he had no difficulty answering the questions. Before the end of the test, Xiao Chen had already handed in his paper. However, he didn't leave after handing in his paper. Instead, he continued to sit in his seat and looked at Su Chuxia from time to time. Chuxia, Xiao Chang is so weird. He handed in his paper and still looked at you in his seat. Tian Souring whispered to Su Chuxia. Who cares about him? Su Chuxia was a little helpless with Xiao Chen's behavior. He wouldn't listen no matter what she said, so she could only let him be. This guy was getting more and more troublesome. He even beat up people from Kai Wuliang's family's club. There was no way to resolve this feud. Do you think Kai Wuliang will deal with Xiao Chang again after school today? Tian Souring asked. Do you still need to think about it? Su Chuxia shook her head. Definitely, but things have already come to this point. We can't help him anymore. That's true. Sigh, looks like I have to get him to give me the money at noon. If he ends up in the hospital at night, who will fix my car? Tian Souring sighed. Can't you think of something better? Su Chuxia was helpless. Alright, for this exam, let me get first place. Tian Souring said. The whole day was spent on exams. After the exams were over and school was over, Xiaochen packed his things and prepared to follow Su Chuxia. What surprised him was that Kai Wuliang really brought people over. This time, he brought quite a lot of people. It could be said that there were more than 10 people. There were 20 to 30 people in total. When they saw Xiaochen coming out, they immediately surrounded Xiaochen. There were 3 circles inside and 3 circles outside. Kai Wuliang couldn't see Xiaochen anymore. He had no choice but to stand on the gymnasium at the side and shout to the middle of the crowd, Xiaochang, aren't you good at sneak attacks? Why don't you sneak attack me again this time? Do it. Su Chuxia and Tian Souring reacted, but it was too late. Xiaochen was already surrounded. They couldn't even find him. Li Yuanqiu saw the situation and ran over while panting. Chuxia, Souring, what's going on? What are these people doing? Xiaochang is surrounded in the middle. Tian Souring said. Li Yuanqiu directly took out his phone. Are you going to call for help? Tian Souring looked and asked quickly. I'll call an ambulance. Li Yuanqiu said. At this time, the fight had already started. Dust flew everywhere, and they couldn't see the situation inside clearly. They didn't know who was fighting who, but they could hear the continuous screams. Kai Wuliang sat on the side of the gymnasium and looked proudly at the people not far away. How dare you challenge me, Kai Wuliang? I'll beat you to death. The sirens of the ambulance could be heard. Dust was still flying up from the fight, and Kai Wuliang couldn't see clearly. But he guessed that it was about time, so he shouted, all right, it's about time. Don't really kill him. Chapter 534. Oh, all right. Xiaochen walked out from the cloud of dust. He had purposely created that cloud of dust so that these people couldn't see each other clearly. That way, he would be able to beat these people up. And, beating them up was really satisfying. Xiaochen felt that he was about to have a breakthrough. It seemed that beating up more people was also beneficial to his cultivation. Ga. Kai Wuliang's eyes widened. He looked at the unharmed Xiaochen and almost thought that he had seen a ghost. You, what about me? Didn't you say that it's about time? That's why I didn't beat them to death. I guess they'll just have to lie in the hospital for half a year. Xiaochen shrugged. At this time, the dust had also dispersed. In fact, it was Xiaochen's illusion that had dissipated. Kai Wuliang looked at the large pile of people lying on the ground and was so shocked that he wanted to cry. This. How did all his people die? That's impossible, right? No matter how good Xiaochang was at fighting, it was impossible for him to beat everyone down. Isn't this too exaggerated? Su Chuxia also had a look of disbelief. Is this for real? Damn. Tian Wangsua exclaimed. Chuxia, this Xiaochang isn't just a tiger. He's simply a wolf. He's too ferocious. One against a group. I really underestimated him. What's so good about fighting? Su Chuxia shook her head. No matter what, Xiaochang's way of doing things was wrong in her opinion. He transferred to another school but didn't study properly. Instead, he got into a few fights in just 2 days. Thinking about how he handed in his paper not long after the exam today, it was obvious that he didn't answer the questions well. He was probably here to waste his time like Kai Wuliang, right? Someone shouted, the director is here, and the surrounding students ran away. When Xiaochen saw that the situation was not right, he also ran away. He waited for Su Chuxia and Tian Wangsua at the school gate. He didn't want to be labeled as a bad student right after coming to school. It was better to avoid fighting. Director Chiu ran over with a black face, but Xiao Chen had already run away. Lying on the ground were a group of people from the Surge Club. Kai Wuliang wanted to cry but had no tears. Now, he finally knew how strong Xiao Chang was. He was really a strong person. This fight was a little too ruthless. He rolled his eyes and saw Director Chiu. He hurriedly ran over. What happened? Who is fighting here? Who are these people? Director Chiu shouted at the students who had yet to leave. It was just that these students were just watching the show, and they didn't even know what was going on. Moreover, this matter involved Kai Wuliang, so they didn't dare to speak carelessly. Director Chiu, you're finally here. You have to uphold justice for me. Kai Wuliang ran over with a look of a victim. Kai Wuliang? What are you doing here? Did you find these people? Director Chiu didn't have a good impression of Kai Wuliang. After seeing him, he immediately frowned. Director Chiu, these people are indeed my people, but they were beaten up. Kai Wuliang said with a sad face, these people are from the Surge Club. They are all fitness trainers. Isn't today's exam dismissed early? I want to enrich the life of the third year of high school for everyone. I asked my family's trainers to come over and give everyone a hip-hop dance, aerobics, etc., so that the students can enjoy and relax. I was just directing on the gymnastics stage. You? Looking for people to dance? Director Chiu didn't quite believe it. He looked at Kai Wuliang suspiciously. Really? If that's the case, why are they lying on the ground with their faces full of injuries? This matter has to start from the transfer student, Xiao Chang. Kai Wuliang said. Xiao Chang? What does it have to do with him? Director Chiu had personally handled the admission procedures for Xiao Chen yesterday. He naturally had an impression of the name Xiao Chang. Director Chiu, you don't know, right? The real reason he transferred here wasn't to study, but to pick up girls. Kai Wuliang started to defame Xiao Chen, did you know? Yesterday morning, in order to show off in front of Su Chuxia, he first beat me up, then threatened me, telling me not to go near Su Chuxia. Him? Beat you up? Director Chiu laughed. Kai Wuliang, are you joking with me? Director Chiu, everything I said is true. Moreover, these people on the ground were beaten up by Xiao Chang. Kai Wuliang said, originally, he was here to tell jokes to Su Chuxia and Tian Soran, but I said that my people wanted to perform a dance and asked him to step aside. However, in order to show off in front of Su Chuxia, he beat up my people. You mean, he beat up a group of people by himself, and these people of yours are your club's trainers? Director Chiu asked. That's right, that's right. Kai Wuliang nodded. Kai Wuliang, if you continue to talk nonsense, don't come to school anymore. Now, take your people and get lost. Director Chiu was furious. This was really ridiculous. Was he joking? One person beat up a group? Others might not know, but how could Director Chiu not know? Kai Wuliang's family owned a dojo, and these people were all big and strong trainers. It was possible for them to beat up one person, but how could one person beat up a group? Don't, Director Chiu. Look, they are all injured. Moreover, you can ask the other students what happened just now. Kai Wuliang was a little anxious. To be honest, if he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed that such a magical thing could happen. Director Chiu frowned, but he still found two students and asked, you two, tell me, what happened just now? Did Xiao Chang beat up all of them by himself? Director, we don't know if it was Xiao Chang, nor do we know him. However, it was indeed a person who beat up a group of people. A student said truthfully. Yes, that student left with Su Chuxia and Tian Soran. The other student added. Oh. This time, Director Chiu was confused. Could it really be as Kai Wuliang said, that Xiao Chang beat up a group of people by himself? Then this Xiao Chang was really amazing. After thinking for a while, Director Chiu said to Kai Wuliang, "This was all done by Xiao Chang? You're not lying, right?" "No, absolutely not." Kai Wuliang nodded solemnly. "You said that he came to school not to learn, but to pursue Su Chuxia?" Director Chiu continued to ask. "Yes, that must be the case." Kai Wuliang nodded vigorously. "Alright, I got it. I will ask the other students again. If this is really the case, I will deal with this matter," Director Chiu said. "Alright, thank you, Director Chiu." Kai Wuliang nodded. "Hurry up and send these people to the hospital. Don't do it on the school field." Director Chiu waved his hand and went to find other students to verify. At this time, the ambulance also arrived and drove into the field. However, when the medical staff saw the situation, they were a little dumbfounded. Even this couldn't fit them? "Are you a friend of these injured people? The ambulance can't fit them. It can only fit 2 people," the medical staff said. "Try your best, one on top of the other. They won't die. Just stuff them all in." Although Kai Wuliang had complained about Xiao Chang, it was hard to say if it would have any effect. He was afraid that in the end, he would only be punished. It was impossible to fire him directly. That's not good, right? These people are already injured. Some of them even have broken arm and leg bones. If they are stacked on top of each other, won't their injuries be even more serious? The medical staff was stunned and said, "It's okay. Listen to me." Kai Wuliang waved his hand impatiently. "That won't do. We have to be responsible for the injured," the medical staff said. "Damn it, we are from the Wave Club. If we tell you to stuff them, then do it. Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up, or else your car will be smashed." Kai Wuliang felt that it was too embarrassing for these people to be lying on the field. It was better to take them away quickly. Moreover, he was the victim now. If these people continued to be an eyesore here and Director Chiu was unhappy, he would also be unlucky. When the medical staff heard that it was the Wave Club, his expression immediately changed. He hurriedly followed Kai Wuliang's instructions and loaded the car with all his might. He didn't even need the stretcher beds anymore. He just stacked them one by one like he was loading goods. After filling it up, it drove away with a whimper. And Kai Wuliang also drove back by himself. On the other side, Director Chiu was still investigating. However, after asking a few students, they all said the same thing. Director Chiu's expression became a little gloomy. "Have you practiced before?" Tian Souring looked at Xiao Chen strangely. "No wonder you are so fearless. It turns out that you are so fierce. Souring, are you leaving or not?" "If not, I'm leaving." Su Chuxia had already regarded Xiao Chang and Kai Wuliang as the same kind of people. They were both school bullies who wanted to pursue her. "Let's go. Let's go." Tian Souring glanced at Xiao Chen and quickly caught up with Su Chuxia. Xiao Chen still followed behind. When Su Chuxia and Tian Souring parted ways, he came to the bus stop with Su Chuxia. Then, he stood behind her and waited for the bus together. Su Chuxia finally couldn't take it anymore. She turned around with a pair of big bright eyes. There was anger in them. "Xiao Chang, are you done? I can tell you now that I won't date while I'm still a student. You don't have to pester me anymore. It's useless. Gosh, classmate Su, have you forgotten that we live in the same neighborhood? I'm going home now. How am I pestering you?" Xiao Chen smiled innocently. "Huh?" Su Chuxia was stunned. So that was really the case. Did she misunderstand him? She thought about it and felt a little embarrassed. So, she said, I see. Then it's fine. I forgot, it's okay. Xiao Chen smiled. After a while, the 82 bus arrived. Xiao Chen and Su Chuxia got on the bus. However, after 2 stops, the young man who wanted to take advantage of Su Chuxia yesterday got on the bus again. However, this time, he wasn't alone. Following him was a burly man wearing a training uniform. The words, Wave Club, were clearly printed on it. Chapter 535. Seeing this person, the passengers all avoided him. Obviously, this Wave Club had some reputation in Lon City, and it wasn't a good reputation. Otherwise, the citizens wouldn't stay away. Ha! When the young man saw Xiao Chen, he was immediately happy. Originally, he wanted to try his luck and look for Xiao Chen to see if he was in this car. If not, he would immediately get off and continue to wait. In his opinion, Xiao Chen, a student, would definitely take a car, but he didn't expect to see him in the first car. Brother duh, it's him. The kid next to the pretty girl. Yesterday, he threw me out of the window. I got it. The one called Brother duh nodded. He separated the surrounding passengers and quickly walked towards Xiao Chen. Looking at Xiao Chen, he said directly, Kid, you should know who I am, right? How about this, take out 5,000 yuan for medical expenses, and I can help you settle this matter. Otherwise, you can just wait for death. Wave Club? Oh, I just beat up a bunch of people. They are all from the Wave Club. Xiao Chen smiled. What do you mean? Kid, you can't brag like this. You beat up a bunch of people? You mean, you went to the Wave Club to challenge them? Brother duh looked at Xiao Chen in amusement. What do I mean? Why don't you call Kai Wuliang and ask him? Xiao Chen smiled and said, You tell him that my name is Xiao Chang. Brother duh was stunned. He didn't expect the person in front of him to know young Master Kai, and he said it with certainty. He hesitated for a moment and still dialed Kai Wuliang's phone. Damn it, what's the matter? As soon as Kai Wuliang returned to the club, he received a call from Brother duh. This duh was one of his club's more valued subordinates. He controlled the thief business in Lon City. These thieves also had to pay protection fees to the Wave Club every month, and the Wave Club would also help them solve some problems when necessary. After all, thieves made money quickly. There were always some people who coveted their income. The Wave Club was one of the gangs in Lon City and also one of the most powerful gangs. With their protection, it naturally saved a lot of problems. Brother duh was taken aback when he heard Kai Wuliang's bad tone. He carefully said, Brother duh, on my side, I'm standing up for a guy we're protecting, but he's a little stubborn. He said that he just beat up a bunch of people from our club. Is he called Xiao Chang? Kai Wuliang was startled and quickly asked. Yeah. Brother duh broke out in a cold sweat. Since Kai Wuliang knew this person, it meant that this person was telling the truth. Hurry up and come back. Don't clash with him. You're not his match. Kai Wuliang made a prompt decision. Let me study this matter first. Yes. Brother duh was so scared that his legs were trembling. So, what Xiao Chang said was true. He beat up a bunch of people from the club? In that case, he was no match for him. Thinking of this, he hurriedly said, Young Master Chang, right? I'm sorry, there's nothing else. I'm going back, take that guy away. Tell him not to let me see him again. The next time I see him, it won't be as simple as throwing him down. Xiao Chen said, You know me. I even dare to beat people from your club. It's normal for me to kill him. Yes, yes. Brother duh nodded repeatedly. Then, he grabbed the young man's collar. Hurry up and apologize to young Master Chang. You provoked someone you shouldn't have, and you still asked me to stand up for you. I was almost beaten to death. Do you know that? Ah. Young Master Chang, I'm sorry. The young man wasn't stupid. If Brother De couldn't deal with him, how could he? He hurriedly apologized and got out of the car with Brother De. Su Chuxia glanced at Xiao Chen faintly. She didn't think much of it. Isn't it impressive? Beating up a bunch of people is something glorious? He even said it as a topic of conversation. On the other side, in the Surge Club, Kai Wuliang looked at the group of men wrapped in bandages in front of him. He was furious. Raising a group of trash like you is 2F** king useless. This, young Master Kai, you can't blame us. That Xiao Chang is too good at fighting. I don't know where so much dust came from. I couldn't see anything at all. I was beaten up, and then I don't know anything. A man smiled bitterly. All right, I'll think of another way. Kai Wuliang turned around and entered the inner room of the Surge Club. Other than the core members of the club, no one could enter this place. There were a few people sitting here at the moment. It was just that the combination of these people was a little strange. However, Kai Wuliang was already used to it. He nodded to these people and sat beside a middle-aged man. This middle-aged man was Kai Wuliang's father, Kai Lehu. On the other side of Kai Lehu sat a young man in his 30s. This person was Kai Wuliang's brother, Kai Wujin. And there were two other people here. One was dressed like a Taoist priest, and the other was a man with a small mustache and shifty eyes. Mr. Kai, since we both need information on the research base, you want information on the development of new energy, and we want information on weapons. I think we can still cooperate, said the small mustache man. If you hadn't alerted the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and alerted them, increasing the difficulty of the matter, would you have come to me to cooperate? What did we talk about before? Now you're acting like a grandson in front of me? Kai Lehu sneered and said, isn't your Sakura group awesome? Why can't it be this? The small mustache man coughed twice and said, I didn't expect Mr. Kai to be so powerful that you could even invite Taoist Master Lu Li. This poor Taoist is here to talk about cooperation with Mr. Kai. I hope that Mr. Kai can fund the renovation of our Taoist temple, said the Taoist priest. It's all the same. If this matter is successful, there will be a lot of money. Not to mention the renovation of the Taoist temple, we can even build a few more. The small mustache man laughed. Amateus, this poor Taoist can reluctantly participate for the sake of the people in the Taoist temple. Speaking up to this point, Taoist Master Lu Li suddenly changed the topic and asked, how much money can I get? Pfft. Kai Wuliang, who was listening at the side, almost spurted out his saliva. This Taoist priest looked like an expert before, but he didn't expect that he would suddenly become like this when talking about money. However, Kai Lehu didn't care. Obviously, he knew the nature of Taoist Master Lu Li. What Mr. Yi Dao said is more or less the same. Okay, I'm in. Taoist Master Lu Li directly made the decision. We need to think about this matter at length. Kai Lehu waved his hand and said, if it was before, we would definitely welcome you to join us, Taoist Master Lu Li. But now, Mr. Yi Dao has alerted us and wants to kidnap Su Chuxia. In the end, people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau were attracted. Now, it will be difficult for us to get to the research base or to deal with Su Chuxia. Then what should we do? Taoist Master Lu Li couldn't help but sigh. Previously, this poor Taoist was in seclusion, so this poor Taoist couldn't make a decision. I have an idea here. That is to let my son get close to Su Chuxia. As long as he succeeds in capturing Su Chuxia, it won't be difficult for him to sneak into the research base as the son-in-law of the Su family. It won't be difficult for him to get the information. Kai Lehu said, however, this will be the credit of my son alone. It has nothing to do with you guys. Mr. Kai, didn't you want to cooperate with our Taoist temple previously? Taoist Master Lu Li said. That was before. Kai Lehu turned to look at Kai Wuliang and asked, "How is it?" "Wuliang, didn't you say that you would soon catch up with Su Chuxia?" "Dad, something happened," Kai Wuliang said carefully with a darkened face. "Something happened? What happened?" Kai Lehu was stunned and immediately asked, "What's going on?" "It's like this." Kai Wuliang carefully told him what happened today. Kai Wuliang's words made the eyes of Daoist Master Lu Li and Mr. Yi Dao, who were initially helpless, suddenly light up. What a twist! If Kai Wuliang couldn't handle Su Chuxia, they would need to work together. That Xiao Chang can fight? Even the coaches of our club are no match for him. Kai Lehu was a little surprised after hearing this. Those coaches were all inner force experts. Although their levels weren't high and they couldn't be compared to the core fighters of the club, they were already very powerful outside. "Yes, Dad. You will know the situation when you go and take a look later," Kai Wuliang said with a bitter smile. "So, that Xiao Chang is a martial artist? Could he be someone from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau?" Kai Lehu frowned. If that was the case, then Kai Wuliang's plan to pursue Su Chuxia would definitely be affected. "I don't think he's from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Although he can fight, he doesn't seem to have any inner force. He purely relies on brute force to fight. Although many of our people are injured, they are all from brute force, so the injuries aren't particularly serious." Kai Wuliang said, "If he's a high-level martial artist, he would have killed one or two. After all, it's impossible to control his strength so precisely. So, this person is simply an admirer of Su Chuxia, right?" Kai Lehu asked after hearing this. "That should be the case." Kai Wuliang nodded. "Okay." Kai Lehu nodded and said, "Daoist Master Lu Li, Mr. Yi Dao, you heard it. This person is very good at fighting. If you want to work together, that's fine. Kill Xiao Chang or send him to the hospital. Just don't interfere with Kai Wuliang's business." This. Daoist Master Lu Li rubbed his chin and didn't answer immediately. Kai Wuliang said one thing, but in reality, it might be another. Moreover, he didn't know if Xiao Chang had any accomplices, so he wouldn't agree rashly. On the other hand, Mr. Yi Dao didn't even think about it and said, "No problem, leave it to me. I'll deal with him." "Okay, if that's the case, I won't treat you badly when the matter is done." Kai Lehu nodded. Chapter 536. "Alright, then I'll go back and make some preparations. I'll take my leave first." Mr. Yi Dao was also very anxious. He stood up and was about to leave. However, Taoist Lu Li's eyes flickered. He thought for a while and didn't say anything. He stood up and left. He had come to Kai Lehu for sponsorship, but Kai Lehu hadn't agreed. Instead, he had asked him to be a fighter. Today, Taoist Lu Li had waited for his uncle master to come out of seclusion and agree to this matter. However, things had changed again, and Xiao Chang had appeared. He didn't dare to make the decision and could only go back first. After the two of them left, Kai Wuliang looked at his father strangely and asked, "Dad, don't we have experts in our family too? Why do we have to get Yi Dao to help? If he helps, it will be equivalent to cooperating with us. Won't we still have to give him the resources?" Kai Lehu looked at his eldest son, Kai Wujin, and asked, "Wujin, explain to Wuliang the reason behind this." "Yes, father. I'll analyze it." Kai Wujin nodded his head. "Wuliang, the person called Xiao Chang that you mentioned is very suspicious. How could he defeat so many warriors with just brute force? Our family's coaches are all at the stage 1 or 2 internal force. Even if they were to gang up on a stage 3 or 4 internal force expert, they would be able to make them vomit blood, let alone a normal person. Now that they have been beaten up by someone else, do you think that Xiao Chang is that simple?" This. Kai Wuliang hadn't thought much about it before. He had only seen the surface. However, at this moment, after listening to his elder brother's analysis, he realized that something was wrong. This kid had ambushed him twice in a row, and he had also beaten up those coaches. If this was all brute force, it would be too much of a coincidence. Thinking of this, Kai Wuliang said, "Then what you mean is that this Xiao Chang might have been sent by the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? That might not be the case. Maybe he's the same as us. Some force wants to take over the research institute," Kai Lehu said. "I see." Kai Wuliang slapped his thigh and said, "Damn, I was wondering why this person would go against me. So that's the case, so I asked that idiot Yi Dao to test it out. Anyway, we won't lose anything. What we promised was just a futures contract. We'll give it to him when we get the information. If not, we don't need to give it to him." Kai Lehu said, "The information of that weapon is useless to us. We can't produce it, so it's better to give it to Night Island. It's really brilliant." Kai Wuliang couldn't help but admire after listening. What about that Taoist Lu Li? Don't worry about him for now. If Yi Dao can't do it, I'll let Lu Li take action. Kai Lehu said leisurely. "Dad, then now I." Kai Wuliang looked at Kai Lehu. "Try not to directly clash with that Xiao Chang. Although we have people, this kid is a little strange. I keep having the feeling that he is from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau." Kai Lehu said, "So let someone else take the lead." "I understand. Should I still pursue Su Chuxia?" Kai Wuliang's pursuit of Su Chuxia was not purely because he had a mission, but because he really liked Su Chuxia. He transferred schools because of his family's mission, but after pursuing her for a few days, he realized that Su Chuxia was really not bad. It felt good to get her. "Actually, I don't care where that Xiao Chang came from. I'll just kill him with one punch and then capture Su Chuxia. I'll force Su Shufeng to hand over the information. There's no need to go through so much trouble." Kai Wujin stood up and stretched. "Wujin, you can't take the lead. You are the trump card of our Kai family. Your strength must not be exposed." Kai Lehu said, "Our Kai family's goal is to earn money and control the underground forces, not to fight for those superficial things. If your strength is exposed, then we will surpass the Shen family and become the #1 family in Lon City. That way, even if you don't expose the fact that you kidnapped Su Chuxia, the Su family will not let it go. I heard that the Su family has been making a lot of connections recently. They have connections with the Hong Chamber of Commerce and the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. I'm just saying." Kai Wujin smiled. "It's really lonely. I thought that I would be able to do something big after I finished my studies. I didn't expect that I would still be tied down. The secular world is different from the pugilistic world. There are some things that we must be cautious about." Kai Lehu said, "Of course, when our Kai family unknowingly occupies half of Lon City, it will be time to declare war on the Su family. The title of the true martial family in Lon City will definitely belong to our Kai family." After Mr. Yashima returned, he began to think of a way. Yashima's full name was Yashima Kikuo. He was a small leader of the Sakura group in the Great Xia Kingdom. He was in charge of spying and collecting high-tech business secrets. Number 19 Mata Road was Yashima Kikuo's property. It was an independent villa, and Yashima Kikuo's identity was the chairman of Lon City Sakura Restaurant Management Company Limited. He was in charge of developing Japanese cuisine. After entering the villa and lying on the sofa, Yashima Kikuo scrolled through his phone, thinking about how to deal with that Xiao Chang. Although he had promised, Yashima Kikuo was not stupid. It was impossible for him to send people over directly. The Kai family's instructors were all at Stage 1 or Stage 2 inner force. Even their leader was at Stage 3 inner force. Yet, they had been beaten to the ground and sent to the hospital. How could Yashima Kikuo send people to their deaths? Of course, there was another way, and that was to use the Polar Special Forces, which was actually the security team of the catering company. On the surface, these people were security guards, but in secret, they had undergone strict karate training. Although the training method was different from the martial artists in Great Xia, the end result was the same. They all improved their strength through training. These people also had inner force, and it wasn't low. However, Yashima Kikuo didn't want to expose this trump card unless it was absolutely necessary. Even Kai Lehu didn't know about it. If he was targeted by the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, he would have no choice but to commit suicide when he returned to the organization. After hesitating for a moment, Yashima Kikuo dialed a number. After a while, the call was connected and he said, "Qianxue, come to my villa for a while." Yes. There was no hesitation on the other side of the phone, but it was a very pleasant female voice. Not long after, the sound of a car could be heard from outside the villa. A girl wearing tight clothes and a cool outfit walked in. Her tight trousers and patent leather high heels made the curves of her figure very attractive, showing the vitality and wild beauty of a young girl. The girl was about 1.65 meters tall. She had shoulder-length hair and a delicate face without any makeup. Her eyes were very big and bright. If it wasn't for her outfit, she would have been a cute girl. "Ling Qianxue, on behalf of the Cherry Blossom Organization, I will give you an important task." Yashima Kikuo glanced at the girl in front of him, and greed flashed in his eyes. He had never touched this woman before. However, this kind of ninja, who was specially trained by the organization, would only be used when carrying out important tasks. Naturally, he wouldn't touch her at will. "Yes." Ling Qianxue replied loudly with a poker face. "Please give me your instructions, Master Yashima. I want you to get close to a man and then spy on his background. If he doesn't have any background, kill him. If he has a background, find a way to uncover it and try to gain his trust." "Is there a problem?" Yashima Kikuo asked. "No." Ling Qianxue replied loudly. "Very well. If it is necessary to sacrifice your body, what will you do?" Yashima Kikuo asked. Ling Qianxue's originally expressionless and delicate face flashed with hesitation, but then she said decisively, "For the sake of Master Cherry Blossom, I can sacrifice everything, including my life." "Well, very good." Yashima Kikuo was very satisfied with Ling Qianxue's answer. Then he said, "From tomorrow onwards, you will go to the High School of New Moon Academy in Lan City. You will be a transfer student, and your name in Great Xia is Ling Qianxue. Your target is called Xiaochang. You will know when you get there." "Yes." Ling Qianxue replied loudly. After sending Ling Qianxue away, Yorishima Kikuo looked at Ling Qianxue's exquisite back and felt a burst of desire. A ninja like her would definitely be different if he were to play with her. She was much better than the two retired actresses that he secretly kept. Unable to suppress the fire in his heart, Yorishima Kishio directly went upstairs to look for the two actresses to play with. Looking at Xiaochang, who got out of the car with her, Su Chuxia felt a headache coming on. She had already planned for Xiaochang to be the same as Kai Wuliang. He had just arrived at school and was already causing trouble. Since yesterday morning, he had inexplicably caused trouble for Kai Wuliang. Until now, he had lost count of the number of fights he had gotten into. To be honest, Su Chuxia did not like such a person at all. In her opinion, students should study hard. What was the point of fighting every day? After taking 2 steps, she saw that Xiao Chen was still following behind her. Su Chuxia was very depressed. "Xiao Chang, you go first. I'm going to buy something." "Ah, that's great. I want to buy something too. Let's go together." Xiao Chen patted his head and said hurriedly. "Then I won't buy anything." Su Chuxia was a little speechless. "I don't think I have anything to buy." "I must have remembered wrongly," Xiao Chen said in a sudden realization. "You." Su Chuxia was so angry that she stomped her feet. She ignored Xiao Chen and turned around to leave. However, she did not go in the direction of the neighborhood. Instead, she went in another direction. Near the neighborhood, there was a large comprehensive shopping mall. The nearby residents would come here to buy things. Perhaps because of the location, the things here were not expensive. The level of consumption here was very ordinary. Su Chuxia ignored Xiaochen and hurried to the shopping mall. When she entered the door, she saw Xiaochen still following her from the reflection of the revolving door. She was so angry that she almost kicked the door shut. This person is so shameless. He keeps following me. I don't know what he wants. He's even more annoying than Kai Wuliang. Chapter 537. At most, Kai Wuliang would pester her in school, and not all the time. He would pester her once a day, sometimes once every few days. However, this Xiao Chang would pester her every day. Furthermore, he would pester her even after school. Did she still have her freedom? Walking into the mall, Xiaochen had been following Su Chuxia from behind, maintaining a safe distance. When Su Chuxia stopped to look at things, he also stopped and stood behind her. Su Chuxia had no choice but to turn a blind eye to it and start to seriously pick out the items. She didn't come to the mall just to get rid of Xiaochen. The weather was a little cold now, and she wanted to buy a scarf from last year. During the new year, she was watching the fireworks in the yard, but Tian Suruan released a small bee that landed on her and burned a big hole in the scarf. Su Chuxia was so angry that she almost set Tian Suruan on fire. After walking around for a while, Su Chuxia took a fancy to a scarf. This was a more popular pattern this year, but the real brand was too expensive. Su Chuxia could only choose a good quality and reasonable price. "Excuse me, is this scarf made of pure cashmere?" Su Chuxia pointed at the scarf and asked the owner of the stall. "Yes, pure cashmere. Look at the fiber and quality. If you don't believe me, I'll burn it with a lighter," a fat woman said with a smile. "Oh. How much is this?" Su Chuxia touched it and felt that the quality was not bad, so she asked. 300, the fat woman said. 300. Su Chuxia felt that it was a little expensive. She thought for a moment and asked, "Can it be cheaper?" "Little girl, it's not expensive. Look, this is cashmere. If it were Ordos or Burberry, it would be a few thousand. I only have 300. How cheap is it?" the fat woman said. "Oh." Su Chuxia stood there hesitating. "Is it for 100? Xiaochen walked over and said. 100? Are you kidding? The fat woman was stunned and immediately said. "Oh, never mind then. Chuxia, let's just buy it online. Look, it says here that it's going to be double 12th soon, and there's a promotion. It's 99 renminbi now, and you can use a 10 renminbi red packet on double 12th, so it's 89 renminbi. Xiaochen said, "It's the same as this one, really?" Su Chuxia rarely went online. She was slightly taken aback when she saw the phone that Xiaochen handed over. Then I'll sell it to you for 100 yuan. The chubby woman quickly offered when she saw Su Chuxia hesitating. Although it was a little less, she could still make 30 yuan. Otherwise, it would all be for nothing. Su Chuxia was speechless. She couldn't even convince him to say a single cent, but Xiaochen reduced the price by a third with just one sentence. However, Su Chuxia found it a little hard to understand. Logically speaking, he should be a person who was very good at pretending and showing off. Why would he bargain when buying things? Shouldn't they be able to do whatever they want with money? Wouldn't that be more attractive to girls? Although, he didn't like it, many girls did. 100 yuan is more like it. "Pay up," Xiaochen said to Su Chuxia. "Pay up?" Su Chuxia was taken aback, and she subconsciously said, "Aren't you going to pay for me?" "Me?" Xiaochen was also taken aback. Su Chuxia's face turned red, and she was a little annoyed. She was tricked by Xiao Chen to the point that her thoughts were a little unclear. This was because Xiao Chen was always the one who rushed to pay for the things she bought before, so she subconsciously thought that Xiao Chen would also pay for the things he bought. However, Xiao Chen didn't do so, which made Su Chuxia feel a little puzzled. That was why she asked this question. However, after asking, she felt embarrassed. She quickly took out 100 yuan from her pocket to pay the bill, wrapped her scarf, and quickly left. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly as he watched Su Chuxia leave. This girl was quite interesting, but Xiao Chen also knew that he couldn't have any other thoughts about her. This was a mission, and his current identity was Yang Tan. Su Chuxia bought the scarf and went upstairs. On the second floor of the mall was a supermarket. Su Chuxia pushed a shopping cart into the supermarket, planning to buy some daily necessities. She lived alone and had to rely on herself for everything, so she had to go to the supermarket every once in a while. Today, she happened to be here, so she bought some necessities. Xiao Chen also just rented a house, so naturally, he also pushed a shopping cart and began to load the things inside. Su Chuxia watched as Xiao Chen also bought things behind him, and she didn't know what to say. The two of them walked and stopped. Not long after, the cart was full. When it was time to pay, Xiao Chen found a queue with about the same number of people as Su Chuxia. The purpose was to pay at the same time, so he wouldn't lose Su Chuxia. Unexpectedly, Xiao Chen finished paying first. Su Chuxia waited for a while before she finished. She bought a lot of things, and it was very complicated, so it took some time. After leaving the supermarket, Su Chuxia was obviously a little hungry, so she went to the fast food center opposite the supermarket. She bought a bean rice set and a drink, then found a place to sit down. As for Xiao Chen, he also ordered a spare rib rice set and sat at the table opposite Su Chuxia. Su Chuxia wanted to stand up and leave, but she remembered that she had already started eating, so she could only endure it. However, after eating 2 mouthfuls, she put down her chopsticks and stared straight at Xiao Chen. When her gaze made him a little uncomfortable, Su Chuxia finally said, "Xiao Chang, do you know that doing this will only make me hate you even more? Don't even mention pursuing me, it's impossible for us to even be ordinary friends." Okay. Xiao Chen casually agreed and continued eating his spare rib rice. To be honest, this place's spare rib rice was quite delicious, much better than the noodles from yesterday. "Xiao Chang, did you hear what I said?" Su Chuxia asked angrily. "Yes, I didn't pursue you," Xiao Chen said. "Su Chuxia, do you believe that there are many coincidences in this world? Only a ghost would believe that." Su Chuxia picked up her plate. Even though she was halfway through her meal, she still changed her position and sat down at another seat. However, Xiao Chen didn't care and continued eating his spare rib rice. He ate very quickly and finished his meal. Su Chuxia hadn't finished her meal yet, so Xiao Chen was waiting for her. After Su Chuxia finished her meal, she stood up. Xiao Chen also stood up. Su Chuxia sat down again, and so did Xiao Chen. "Xiao Chang, didn't you tell me that it was a coincidence? Then what do you mean now?" Su Chuxia asked angrily. "Now, it's a coincidence," Xiao Chen said shamelessly. Su Chuxia snorted and left with her things. Xiao Chen followed behind her. The two of them returned to the neighborhood one after another. Su Chuxia entered her unit, and Xiao Chen entered his rented unit. However, Su Chuxia didn't go upstairs. Instead, she hid at the window on the first floor and watched Xiao Chen. When she saw him enter the opposite unit, she frowned in confusion. Did he really live here? Did he really go shopping? Could there really be such a coincidence? Su Chuxia shook her head and returned home. The next morning, Xiao Chen coincidentally bumped into Su Chuxia as soon as he went out. Su Chuxia was already on the verge of a breakdown because of Xiao Chen. She pretended not to see him and allowed him to follow behind her. Today, Xiaochen was a little surprised that Kai Wuliang didn't find fault with him. He successfully entered the school and entered the class, but he didn't encounter any difficulties. Could it be that Kai Wuliang was afraid of being beaten up and decided to give up? However, this was for the best. It saved Xiaochen a lot of trouble. After entering the classroom, just as Xiaochen sat down in his seat, Tian Suruan came over and sat on Xiaochen's desk. Her two beautiful little legs swayed. Xiaochen thought that it would be great if her skirt was facing him. Xiaochen, reimburse me. We agreed on the car repair fee. Tian Suruan took out a car repair receipt and handed it to Xiaochen. Xiaochen took a look. He didn't expect this car to cost a few thousand yuan just for a paint job. It was really expensive. However, this amount of money was nothing to him. He was about to pay when Li Yuanxiu walked over and snatched the receipt. She glanced at it and said, "Forget it, Suruan. I'll settle the bill with the 4S shop. Don't let Xiaochang pay." "Ah, it's fine as long as you don't care about it. Sister Suruan can rest assured." Tian Suruan didn't care who had to pay as long as it wasn't her. Li Yuanxiu didn't care about the car repair fee. Instead, she took the opportunity to sit beside Xiaochen and said to him, "Xiaochang, tell me, are you a martial artist? Do I look like one to you?" However, Xiaochen smiled and asked, "Also, I'll pay for the car repair fee." "It's not much, you don't look like one. You didn't use your inner force yesterday, right?" Li Yuanxiu shook her head. "Forget about the car repair fee. My girlfriend's family is rich. She doesn't need this little bit of money. What I want to tell you is that if you're not a martial artist, it's best not to get involved in too many conflicts in the pugilistic world. The Kai family isn't simple. In this Lan city, those who offended them, other than the Shen family, were not retaliated against. The others, the Shen family?" Xiao Chen's heart skipped a beat. Does this mean that the Kai family is the second most influential family in Lan City? That's not it. What I mean is that the Kai family doesn't want to be taken advantage of. Even if they can't do it openly, they might use underhanded means. Li Yuanxiu said, "This Kai Wuliang used to be doing well in the sports school. I don't know why he suddenly transferred here and started chasing after Su Chuxia. He's really a troublesome person." Xiaochen nodded. It was hard for these disciples of great clans to explain why they were doing something. Perhaps it was the intention of the clan, or perhaps there was some other deeper meaning. "Thank you for your kind intentions, but a grudge has already been formed. If they want to cause trouble for me, I'll just have to take it on. There's no other way." "That's fine too." Li Yuanxiu said, "There's one more thing. After you left yesterday, Director Chiu investigated what happened. No matter what, you were involved in the fight yesterday. I'm afraid Director Chiu will cause trouble for you. Director Chiu hates students who don't study and come to school to waste their time." Chapter 538. Hee, that doesn't seem to be me. I still love to study. Xiao Chen said. As he spoke, the bell rang. The form teacher, Ms. Chen, walked into the classroom. Along with her was Director Chiu. Kai Wuliang was at the end of the corridor. He watched Director Chiu walk into grade 12 class 9 from afar. A hint of smugness flashed across his face. Even if he couldn't expel Xiaochang, he would definitely punish Xiaochang this time. "Everyone, please be quiet. Before class, Director Chiu has a few words to say," Ms. Chen said to the students in the classroom. The classroom suddenly became quiet. Then, Director Chiu walked up to the podium, cleared his throat, and said, "The next thing I want to say is about the new transfer student, Xiaochang." Li Yuanxiu looked at Xiaochen sympathetically and shrugged his shoulders. What he meant was, "Look, it's here, right? Chuxia, do you think Xiaochang will be in trouble? I heard that Kai Wuliang accused Xiaochang of beating someone up yesterday." Tian Sauer said, do you think Sister Sour should stand up and reveal the truth? Who cares, he's not a good person. Su Chuxia thought about how Xiaochen followed her all the way yesterday and couldn't help but say hatefully. From Su Chuxia's point of view, it was better to let Xiaochen know. Otherwise, he would follow her every day and almost become her shadow. Last night, after school, there was a vicious fight on our school field. Director Chiu paused and looked at Xiaochen. Then, he continued, our good student, Xiao Chang, was surrounded and beaten up by the unemployed people that Kai Wuliang organized. Luckily, Xiao Chang ran away quickly. Then, the people that Kai Wuliang found were in a mess and couldn't see clearly. They fought with each other and ended up in the hospital. This behavior is simply outrageous. Today, I came to grade 12 class 9 to praise Xiao Chang for his decisiveness. I also want to say that everyone should learn from Xiao Chang. When you encounter trouble, don't fight head-on. Be smart and choose to escape. Alright, what I want to say next is that this time, student Xiao Chang obtained first place in the entire cohort in the monthly test. Now, everyone should congratulate him. The whole class was stunned. After all, this was the main point. This transfer student actually got first place in the whole grade. However, Li Yuanxiu, Su Chuxia, and Tian Suruan, who knew the truth, were dumbfounded. Xiao Chang was the one who beat him up and sent him to the hospital. How could he be praised? However, when Director Chiu said that Xiao Chang was the top student in the whole year, Li Yuanxiu was not surprised. He knew Director Chiu's character too well. In Director Chiu's eyes, the only criterion for a good student was their academic results. A good student could cover up all the ugly things. Xiao Chen had good results, so he was a good student. The other bad things were done by others and had nothing to do with Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen was also stunned. When he heard Director Chiu talking about the fight last night, he thought he was going to scold him. He didn't expect that Director Chiu would praise him in the end. This really made him at a loss. No one was more surprised than Su Chuxia. She had initially thought that Xiao Chen was a bad student like Kai Wuliang. How did he suddenly become the top student in the entire grade? She couldn't believe it. A guy who fought all day and tailed a girl was the top student in the whole grade? However, it was impossible to say that he copied first place. Who did he copy from? Wow, Chuxia, we seem to have made a mistake. This Xiao Chang is really a strong person. Tian Suruan was also extremely shocked. I thought he was a poor loser, but he turned out to be a tall, rich, and handsome scholar. He's more like a school tyrant. Su Chuxia snorted and said with a bitter face, Suruan, you don't know this. He lives in the same neighborhood as me and follows me every day. I really can't take it anymore. Huh? You live in the same neighborhood? Is that true? It can't be. Tian Suruan looked at Su Chuxia in surprise. Why didn't you tell me? I thought that he said that because he deliberately followed me, but yesterday I saw him really enter a unit in the neighborhood. Su Chuxia said, do you think there's such a coincidence? Then it really is a coincidence? Tian Suruan was also very surprised after hearing this. Could it be that he deliberately went to your neighborhood to rent an apartment? It's possible. Su Chuxia was stunned. Why didn't she think of this before? Now that she thought about it, it was really possible. Thinking of this, Su Chuxia said, Suruan, why don't you stay at my place tonight and help me see what's going on? Go to your house. Tian Suruan frowned. There's nothing delicious in your house. I can't eat breakfast well, and my dinner isn't delicious either. Sigh, are you going or not? Su Chuxia snorted. Go ahead. Sister Suruan's life is so hard. Tian Suruan complained. Chuxia, can't you learn some culinary skills? I think the food I cook is very delicious. Su Chuxia said, it's you who's too greedy. You insist on eating meat. Sigh, you don't understand how attractive food is to me. Tian Suruan said, why don't we go to your house after Xiaochang treats us to barbecue tonight? Su Chuxia glared at Tian Suruan. Forget it, forget it. We'll just go to your house and eat something. Tian Suruan compromised. Actually, Xiaochen didn't expect that he would be able to get first place. If it were Songning Second High School, he wouldn't be able to get first place with the same performance. It was probably because the pressure to enter a higher school in Lon City was relatively low that this happened. The most unfortunate one was none other than Kai Wuliang. Early in the morning, Director Chiu called him over and gave him a good scolding. He was even given a disciplinary action, warning him that he would be expelled if he gathered any more idlers in the school. Yesterday, Director Chiu clearly wanted to deal with Xiaochang. Why was he the one in trouble today? Could it be that Xiaochang really had a powerful background that even Director Chiu wanted to please? However, very soon, his informant in grade 12 class 9 sent him news. It turned out that Xiaochang's grades were too good, causing Director Chiu to look at him differently. He didn't believe that he was a bad student at all. Kai Wuliang must have been the one to complain about the fight after school. Kai Wuliang was really speechless, but there was nothing he could do. He could only wait for Yishima Kikuo to make his move. Alright, other than that, I would like to introduce a new student to everyone. As Director Chiu spoke, he waved his hand toward the outside of the classroom. At this moment, a cute kawaii girl wearing a pink woolen coat walked into the classroom. She had a shiny star hairpin in her hair and was carrying a delicate little backpack. The appearance of the girl immediately caused a commotion among the boys in the class. Such a cute transfer student who looked like a next-door sister made these boys salivate. Although Su Chuxia was also pretty, she was Kai Wuliang's. Moreover, Kai Wuliang might not be able to catch up to her. Su Chuxia didn't really like to talk to unfamiliar people. She also kept a respectful distance from the boys in the class and was very difficult to get close to. However, the girl in front of them looked very sweet and amiable. If they could get her as a girlfriend, it would definitely be a kind of enjoyment. Hello everyone, my name is Ling Qinxue. My father used to work in Japan, and I went to school there. I just came back recently. My Mandarin might not be very good, so please give me some pointers. Ling Qinshue's Mandarin was indeed a little choppy, but it was very pleasant to the ears. Her tone was soft and sweet, just like honey. As soon as Ling Qinshue's voice fell, there was a warm applause from the audience. It was much more enthusiastic than when Xiaochen came. Cute girls always had a lot of people supporting them. Even some girls applauded for her. Ling Qinsue, do you have any requirements for your seat? Director Chiu asked. He had obtained the reference room. Ling Qinsue was also a good student who excelled in both academic and moral conduct. The files she had brought over showed that she had excellent grades in all subjects. Therefore, Director Chiu had a very good impression of her and naturally took good care of her. Ling Qinshue's face was slightly red. She said to Director Chiu, Director Chiu, I want to sit with a good student. Can you give me some pointers? Ling Qinsue is studying abroad. After she comes back, she might not be able to keep up with the progress of her studies here. Therefore, in order to allow Ling Qinsue to catch up with her studies as soon as possible, I think she should sit at the same table as Xiaochang. There just so happens to be an empty seat there. Director Chiu nodded and said. When Director Chiu said this, all the boys in the class looked at Xiaochen with envy. However, they couldn't be envious. This wasn't luck, it was because he really had the ability. Alright, may I ask, which one is Xiaochang? Ling Qinsue asked. It's this row, the last seat. It's a bit behind, but he's the best student. He's the first in the entire year. Director Chiu introduced. Alright, thank you, Director Chiu. After Ling Qinsue finished speaking, she walked towards Xiaochen and sat beside Xiaochen. She said to Xiao Chen, "Student Xiao Chang, please take care of me." "Alright, take care of each other." Xiao Chen couldn't tell what Ling Qinshue's background was. However, he had just transferred to another school, so Xiao Chen felt that it was a little strange that another transfer student had followed him. However, Xiao Chen felt that he didn't have much interaction with the forces of Japan. Other than the time when the Xiao family was deceived by two foreign businessmen who pretended to be from Japan, he didn't have any other contact. During class, Xiao Chen pretended to listen attentively, but he was secretly observing Ling Qinsue. However, he discovered that there was nothing special about her. She had been listening attentively to the teacher's lecture. Xiao Chen was relieved. As long as this person didn't harm Su Chuxia, it wouldn't matter. Chuxia, that Ling Qinsue is so cute. She actually surpassed Sister Sour Sour. Tian Sour Sour was a little depressed. She was originally quite cute, and her skin was the color of wheat. In the class, other than Su Chuxia, she was the most outstanding. She didn't expect that there would be another cute student. I think it's quite good. She's sitting at the same table as Xiao Chang. Xiao Chang will pay attention to her, so he won't bother me. Su Chuxia was quite happy. Chapter 539. From Su Chuxia's point of view, Xiao Chang only cared about her beauty. Now that Ling Qinsue, who was on par with her, came back and was his desk mate, Xiao Chang should be able to change his target now, right? After class, Xiao Chen saw Su Chuxia leaving the classroom. He wanted to follow her, but Ling Qinsue stopped him. "Hello, Xiao Chang." "Oh, hello." Xiao Chen looked at Ling Qinsue strangely. "What's the matter?" "It's like this. I want to ask you a question. Is that okay?" Ling Qinshue's face was red, and her big eyes blinked as she looked at Xiao Chen. Her gaze was filled with anticipation. This made Xiao Chen a little reluctant to reject her. He thought about it. Su Chuxia was in school, so there shouldn't be any danger. If he directly rejected Ling Qinsue, it would be too abrupt. Thus, he said, "No problem. Go ahead. This is the question." Ling Qinsue picked up the exercise book in her hand and asked Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen looked at it. It was a somewhat complicated three-dimensional geometry question. Many times, people's three-dimensional thinking would lead to misunderstandings. This question was a misconception, so it was normal that Ling Qinsue didn't know how to do it. Xiao Chen took out a piece of toilet paper and quickly explained it to Ling Qinsue. Ling Qinsue was also very smart and understood many things with just a hint. She nodded repeatedly, "I understand." "Thank you, Xiao Chang." "Thank you. You don't have to be so polite. We're desk mates." Xiao Chen was a little embarrassed by Ling Qinshue's politeness. In order to express my gratitude, this is the sushi I brought for breakfast. I haven't eaten it yet, so I'll give it to you." Ling Qinsue said as she took out a lunchbox from her bag. There were a few very exquisite pieces of sushi in it. "This. I've already eaten breakfast." Xiao Chen didn't expect Ling Qinsue to be so polite. However, thinking about it, it might be the custom of her time in Japan. He seemed to remember that in TV and anime, Japanese girls were very polite and often gave their classmates homemade snacks. "Try it, Xiao Qinsue. This is Qinshue's gift." Ling Qinsue held the lunchbox with both hands and said firmly. "All right then, I'll try one." Xiao Chen couldn't refuse, so he opened the lunchbox, took out a piece of sushi, and stuffed it into his mouth. Needless to say, it was not bad. This kind of thing didn't have much seasoning, but it was enough to show Ling Qinshue's dexterous hands to make it so delicious. At that moment, Su Chuxia walked into the classroom with Tian Yoshi. She saw Ling Qinsue holding a lunchbox and Xiao Chen stuffing a piece of sushi into his mouth. She couldn't help but frown. "I didn't expect Xiao Chang to be so amazing." It's only one lesson and he's already eating with Ling Qianxue. Tian Saori was a little surprised. That's sushi. It looks delicious. Sister Saori wants to eat it too, don't go and embarrass yourself. Su Chuxia pulled Tian Suruan back and said, don't stir things up. If Xiao Chang gets together with her, it will save me a lot of trouble. I thought you would be a little disappointed. Tian said sourly. What am I disappointed about? Su Chuxia was confused. According to the books, girls are all like this. If someone pursues them, they'll be annoyed. If no one pursues them, they'll be unhappy. Tian Saor said. That's you. Su Chuxia smiled. I love it. Tian Saor said, moreover, these little boys don't know how to appreciate it. My wheat-colored skin is the cutest and sexiest. Don't you see that many celebrities deliberately make their skin color like this? It's just that these little kids like big white beauties. Xiao Chun ate a piece of sushi and said, it's very delicious. Alright, you can eat the rest. Since it's delicious, I'll give it to you. Student Xiao, treat it as lunch. Ling Qianxue said. That's not good. This is your food. Xiao Chun refused. Student Xiao, if you don't want it, Qianxue won't be able to ask you questions next time. Ling Qianxue insisted. This. Alright. Xiao Chun had no choice but to accept it. Then, he said, however, I'll eat half. I'll leave the rest for you. Yes, yes. Ling Qianxue didn't refuse this time. She nodded. Student Xiao, why are you so good at studying? Do you have any experience that you can pass on to Qianxue? This. Xiao Chun really didn't know what to say. He was a cultivator and had the ability to remember everything he saw. Naturally, his grades were good, but Ling Qianxue didn't. Is it hard to say? It's okay. Ling Qianxue saw that Xiao Chun wanted to say something, so she said it. It's not that. I just have a good memory. It's hard to have any experience when it comes to studying. Otherwise, the teacher would have told us long ago, right? Xiao Chun explained. Yes, student Xiao is right. I'm too eager for quick success. Ling Qianxue nodded. Student Xiao, you're so good at studying. Why are you sitting in the last row? I'm the same as you. I just transferred here a few days ago, Xiao Chun said casually. Ah. You also transferred here. Then, which school were you in before? Ling Qianxue asked. I used to be in Songning. Xiao Chun said, I'm about the same as you. My family came here to work, so I followed. I see. I didn't expect you to get the first place when you just came. You're really amazing. Ling Qianxue said. You're also very smart. It's okay to work hard. Xiao Chun chatted with Ling Qianxue. Then can you tell me some stories about going to school here? Ling Qianxue said, when I was very young, I went to school in Japan with my father. I don't know much about the things here in Wuxia, this. Xiao Chun couldn't tell much. He could only randomly pick some stories about going to school in Songning, such as basketball matches, sports meetings, and so on. Ling Qianxue listened with great interest. From time to time, she would ask some questions. Xiao Chun also answered her one by one. This class was a self-study class. Xiao Chun had nothing to do anyway, so he told Ling Qianxue stories. Until the end of the class, Ling Qianxue still wanted to continue. She said with some envy, unfortunately, I'm already in grade 12 now. These activities are gone, there should be. Xiao Chun didn't know much about New Moon Academy. He guessed that in New Moon Academy, if the pressure to enter a higher school wasn't that big, grade 12 should also have activities. I'm talking about my previous school. There isn't that much pressure to enter a higher school here. I guess there are still activities. NN. Ling Qinxue nodded. Oh yeah, what does student Zhao's family do? Why did you suddenly transfer to this school? Nothing much. My family is in business. It's just that my family's business moved here, Xiaochen said. I see. It's about the same as Qinxue. Dad also came here because of company matters, Ling Qinxue said. Xiaochen nodded. He felt that this Ling Qinxue was a chatterbox. Once she started talking, there would be no end. She seemed to love studying, but she was also a curious baby. She was curious about everything. At noon, Xiaochen noticed that Su Chuxia and Tian Suruan had gone to the cafeteria for lunch. When he returned to the classroom, he found that Ling Qinxue was preparing for lunch. The table was filled with snacks. This made Xiaochen a little surprised. Was she here for school or to eat? Her bag in the morning wasn't big. Could it be that it was filled with food and not a single book? That couldn't be. Then where did her exercise books come from? Classmate Xiao, come and eat with us. This is the lunch I brought. It's a little too much for me to finish. Ling Qinxue waved at Xiaochen enthusiastically. Xiaochen took a look. They were all cold sashimi, tuna, codfish, snapper, yellow pomfret, red clam, salmon, and so on. There were also some vegetables and rice balls. It was okay to taste these things occasionally. If it was eaten as a meal, Xiaochen probably wouldn't be full. You prepared so much? Xiaochen sat down and asked Ling Qinxue, who was still arranging the food. It's all right. My family is in the food business, so I've liked to make my own food since I was young. Classmate Xiaochen, let's eat together. Ling Qinxue arranged the last dish and then invited Xiaochen. Okay, then I won't stand on ceremony. Xiaochen ate some, but it wasn't enough. Fortunately, he was a cultivator, so it didn't matter if he ate a little. When Ling Qinxue saw that Xiaochen only ate a few mouthfuls, she asked, Classmate Xiao, are you not used to the taste? It's alright, but I still like to eat more traditional food. This kind of food doesn't feel full, Xiaochen explained. If that's the case, then Qinxue will prepare some food tomorrow, Ling Qinxue said. There's no need to trouble yourself. I'll just go to the cafeteria to eat. Xiaochen was shocked. This Ling Qinxue seemed to be a little too good to him. Was it just because he helped her with her homework? It's okay. Other than reading and studying, Qinxue's favorite thing is to make food. Ling Qinxue said. At this time, Su Chuxia and Tian Suruan returned from dinner in the cafeteria. They happened to see Xiaochen and Ling Qinxue eating a table of delicious food together. Tian Suruan's eyes were a little dazed. Suruan, can you not be so useless? Isn't it just some sashimi? What's so good about it? Don't embarrass yourself. Su Chuxia said, if you want to eat it, I'll go to the market tonight to buy you a salmon. You can eat it like salmon. Aya, Sister Suruan is really unlucky to have such a bad friend. Tian Suruan said gloomily, salmon isn't delicious. It's good enough that there's food. Su Chuxia was a little happy in her heart. It seemed that Xiao Chong had completely given up on her and had begun to look for a new target. The afternoon passed quickly. In the afternoon, Ling Qinxue didn't look for Xiaochen to chat anymore. Instead, she read her book and listened to the class seriously. It wasn't until school was over and when she was packing her things that she asked Xiaochen, Classmate Xiao, where are you going later? Chapter 540. Of course I'll take the bus back, Xiaochen said. Oh, Qinxue has a car. I can give you a ride. Ling Qinxue blushed and blinked her big eyes at Xiaochen. Oh. It's okay, I'll take the bus. Xiaochen was stunned. Ling Qinxue's family was quite wealthy. She had a car right after returning to the country. However, Xiaochen's mission was to protect Su Chuxia, not to play with Ling Qinxue. Naturally, it was not appropriate for him to take her car. Okay, then Qianxue will leave first. Ling Qianxue didn't insist. She nodded and left with her bag. The boys all stared at her until she walked out of the classroom. They all had perverted expressions on their faces. Xiaochen waited for Su Chuxia and Tian Saoring to pack their things before following them out of the classroom. Tian Saoring said as he walked, "Chuxia, then I don't have to go to your house today, right? Xiao Chang has changed his target and is starting to pursue Ling Qianxue." "I see." Just as Su Chuxia was about to agree, she subconsciously turned around and realized that Xiao Chen was following them from a distance. She immediately fainted. "Sour, didn't you say that he changed his target? Why is he still following me?" Tian Saoring turned around and slapped her forehead. "Oh my god, it seems like he didn't see Ling Qianxue. Then what should we do?" Su Chuxia was a little depressed. "Who knows? I can only go back with you," Tian Saoring said. "Fortunately, tomorrow is the weekend. It doesn't matter. Let's sleep in and go play video games together." "Chuxia, you haven't invited me to play video games in a long time. Why are you so poor? You should change your name to Poor Saoring. I really don't know how a young mistress like you is doing." Su Chuxia was a little speechless. He, Sister Saoring is in a difficult situation." Tian Saoring laughed dryly. The two of them walked to the bus stop. As expected, Xiao Chen followed them. Tian Saoring sighed and went to find Xiao Chen. "Xiao Chang, do you like Chuxia that much? I think that Ling Qianxue is also not bad." Tian sourly said. "I think you're not bad, but I have to go home, right?" Xiao Chen shrugged and said. Go home?" Tian sourly said, "Why don't you invite me to your house later? We'll have dinner at your place tonight. What do you want to eat?" Xiao Chen was surprised. "Why don't you make something delicious?" Tian sourly advised, "If you serve Sister Sourly well, Sister Sourly will put in a few good words for you, so that Chuxia won't hate you so much." Sure. Xiao Chen wasn't interested in pursuing Su Chuxia anyway, so he didn't mind Tian Wangchuan's blatant attempt to scam him. Tian Suruan didn't say that he wanted Su Chuxia to like him. He only said that she didn't hate him. It was obvious that he didn't have any benefits, but this was the result that Xiao Chen wanted. "What are we going to eat? Shall we buy it later?" Tian Wangchuan's mouth watered when he heard Xiao Chen agree. "Oh, we'll pass by the farmer's market later and buy some ingredients. I'll go back and cook," Xiao Chen said. Tian Wangchuan looked at Xiao Chen in shock. "You cook? If I don't cook, you'll cook?" Xiao Chen asked back. "I didn't know that you know how to cook." Tian Wangchuan was a little surprised. "No way. Are you a good man of the modern era? I live alone, of course I know how to cook." Xiao Chen didn't think there was anything strange about it. "Doesn't Su Chuxia know how to cook too?" How do you know she knows how to cook?" Tian Wangchuan asked curiously. "Oh, I guessed. She probably lives alone." Xiao Chen naturally couldn't say that he used binoculars to spy on her. "Alright, then I'll try your cooking," Tian Wangchuan said. "What do you know how to cook?" "I'll cook whatever you eat," Xiao Chen said. Tian Wangchuan's eyes widened. "Really? Can I order then?" "Okay." Xiao Chen also wanted to serve Tian Wangchuan well. After all, she was Su Chuxia's best friend. With her help, it would save him a lot of trouble. "I want to eat black pepper beef, sweet and sour carp, steamed eggs with oysters, vegetarian stir-fry, dried cauliflower, pork ribs, green beans." Tian Wangchuan listed a bunch of dishes and then looked at Xiao Chen proudly. "Oh." Xiao Chen nodded. "Do you remember all of them? Let me tell you, if you miss one, don't blame me for not keeping my promise. Tian Wangchuan said with a sneaky smile. Oh. Xiao Chen naturally knew what Tian Wangchuan was thinking. There were so many dishes, and he couldn't cook them all. Even if he could, he might miss a few dishes. Then, Tian Wangchuan could use that as an excuse not to help. This girl was a foodie. She wanted to eat, but she didn't want to offend Su Chuxia. After that, Tian Wangchuan turned around and returned to Su Chuxia. Wangchuan, why are you guys talking? What did you say? Su Chuxia asked quickly. Let's go to his house to eat later. Tian Wangchuan said. Go to his house? Su Chuxia looked at Tian Wangchuan in disbelief. Did you turn against him? No, he said he knew how to cook, so I was thinking, let's go eat and see. I think he's just putting on an act, trying to make himself look like a good man of the new era. He wants to win your favor, but when the time comes, if he does badly, you'll have an excuse to ignore him. Tian sourly said, what do you think? My idea isn't bad, right? What if I do a good job? Su Chuxia retorted. Then we can also use the excuse that we don't like it and ignore him. Once and for all. Tian Wangchuan said. If that's the case. Su Chuxia thought about it and felt that something was wrong. However, she still nodded and said, okay, then I'll listen to you. But if he says it doesn't taste good after eating his food, I don't feel good, do you want to get rid of him? Tian Wangchuan asked seriously. Then, okay. Su Chuxia nodded. After a while, a Route 82 bus arrived. The three of them got on the bus together. This time, they didn't need Xiao Chen's protection. Tian Wangchuan took the initiative and said, Xiao Chang, come here and stand behind us. Don't let anyone take advantage of us. Sister Wangchuan is very good at attracting wolves. Xiao Chen glanced at Tian Wangchuan and thought to himself, it would be strange if you don't attract wolves with your miniskirt. Especially with your black gal's skin color, you look like a chick in a XX movie. On the way, because Xiao Chen stood behind the two of them, Su Chuxia didn't say anything to Tian Wangchuan. She just looked out the window. On the other hand, Tian Wangchuan kept scrolling through his phone. She didn't know what he was playing. When they arrived at the stop, the three of them got off the bus and entered a farmer's market. Since Tian Wangchuan had already agreed to Xiao Chen's request, Su Chuxia thought that it was a matter of success or failure. So, she didn't reject him anymore. Instead, she followed behind and watched Xiao Chen purchase one by one. However, what surprised Tian Wangchuan was that Xiao Chen actually bought all the ingredients for the dishes she mentioned just now. He didn't miss a single one. Tian Wangchuan couldn't help but admire him. As expected of a straight-A student. His memory was so good. But, did he know how to make them? Su Chuxia couldn't help but wonder as she watched Xiao Chen buy things. Was this person a hedonistic son of a rich family? Not only was he good at studying, but he also knew how to buy groceries. Looking at Xiao Chen's proficiency in bargaining and choosing, it was simply something that a person who often bought groceries would do. This made Su Chuxia wonder if Xiao Chen wasn't a bad student. But even if he wasn't, Su Chuxia didn't want to be in a relationship. Firstly, she didn't want to be in a relationship. Secondly, she also knew some things about her father. She knew that some people who wanted to date and pursue her might have ulterior motives, so Su Chuxia was usually very careful. This was also the reason why. After buying the ingredients, Xiao Chen said to Tian Wangchuan, I bought everything you said. What else do you want to eat? I don't want to eat anymore. Tian Wangchuan said weakly. It wasn't easy to mess with a straight-A student. She followed Xiao Chen into the neighborhood and went up to the 5th building. Finally, they stopped at the 4th floor. This time, Su Chuxia was really a little surprised. It was actually also the 4th floor. It echoed with her own room. Was this also a coincidence? Xiaochen opened the door and said, "I'll go cook. You guys sit anywhere you want. You can watch TV, oh, go ahead. Sister Wangchuan can do it herself." Tian Wangchuan waved her hand at Xiaochen and dismissed him. Xiaochen nodded and walked into the kitchen to busy himself. Tian Wangchuan fell on the sofa, turned on the TV, and watched it. She found that Xiaochen's house actually had an internet TV box, so she found her favorite TV and watched it. Su Chuxia was a little curious about the man's house, so she wandered around the house and walked into a room. It was obviously Xiaochen's bedroom. However, when Su Chuxia saw the telescope by the window sill, her face suddenly fell. This was because the telescope was pointed in the direction of her house. Su Chuxia suppressed her anger and walked over to look through the telescope. Sure enough, her room, living room, and even dining room could be seen clearly. Now, Su Chuxia finally understood how Xiaochen could accurately see her in the morning. It turned out that he was peeping. Although Su Chuxia thought that she was very careful and wouldn't let Xiaochen see anything that he shouldn't see, the feeling of being watched really made her very uncomfortable. After hesitating for a moment, Su Chuxia couldn't help but quickly rush out of the room and went straight to the kitchen where Xiaochen was. Tian Wangchuan saw Su Chuxia come out of the room and go to the kitchen, but she didn't care. She thought that she went to negotiate with Xiaochen, so she continued to watch TV. Xiaochang. Su Chuxia glared at Xiaochen. Xiaochen was washing vegetables when he suddenly saw Su Chuxia rush in angrily. He was a little puzzled. "What's wrong?" "Xiaochang, you're so despicable," Su Chuxia said angrily. "Why are you so dirty?" "Me? Despicable and dirty?" Xiaochen looked at Su Chuxia in shock. "What do you mean by that? You were secretly peeping at me with the telescope in your room, right?" Su Chuxia saw that Xiaochen didn't know anything and was even more annoyed. "You're a big pervert." Chapter 541. This. Xiaochen just remembered that he forgot to put away the binoculars. He didn't think too much about it before, but it would be strange if Su Chuxia didn't see it. He could only evade it. The landlord left it behind. "Think about it, how would I know that you live on the 4th floor across the street, really?" Su Chuxia looked at Xiaochen coldly and looked like she didn't believe him. "The landlord left it behind? Did you rent this apartment? Who knows why you rented it across the street from my house? It's a coincidence." Xiaochen could only bite the bullet. "Tell me, Xiaochang. What do you want?" Su Chuxia couldn't take it anymore. If she went home and thought that someone was spying on her, how could she live? She felt like she was being watched every time she did something. How uncomfortable would that be? Therefore, Su Chuxia decided to have a showdown with Xiaochang. She had to end things with him. "I don't want anything. I already said it's a coincidence." Xiaochen shrugged and continued to busy himself with the things in his hands. "Do you think I'll believe you?" Su Chuxia's expression was cold. "Coincidence? How can there be so many coincidences? On the first day after school, you followed me here and rented an apartment across the street from my house. Am I right? Don't be in a hurry to deny it. There's only one real estate agent near this area. I'll ask and I'll know." "Okay. You're right." Xiaochen saw that he couldn't deny it, so he nodded and admitted it. "You don't just want to pursue me, right?" Su Chuxia stared at Xiaochen and asked word by word. Xiaochen was slightly shocked, but he maintained his composure. "Yes, I didn't want to pursue you either. I already said it was a coincidence." Speaking up to this point, even Xiaochen himself felt that something was amiss. "You didn't pursue me, but you followed me here to rent an apartment across the street from my house. Aren't you contradicting yourself?" Su Chuxia questioned. "Xiaochang, you're good at studying and have strong life skills. You're also good at fighting. You're not a student, right? I really am a student. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. Do you want something from me? Su Chuxia stared at Xiao Chen. Then I can tell you directly. You won't get anything. Don't overthink it, I don't know anything. I think you know what I'm talking about. Xiao Chen fell silent. Su Chuxia probably thought that he was someone who wanted to get some information from her. It seemed like she was very cautious. Even when she was warning him, she didn't say anything important. In other words, those who knew would naturally know, and those who didn't know would still have no idea what she was referring to. What are you talking about? I don't want anything. Xiao Chen took a deep breath and said, believe it or not, I won't harm you, and you don't have to be hostile to me. You're here to replace Xiao Meng, right? Su Chuxia suddenly asked. Xiao Chen was stunned. He looked at Su Chuxia in surprise. He didn't expect Su Chuxia to think so much, and she even knew about Xiao Meng. As expected, you're not here to pursue me. Following me and monitoring me is your job. Su Chuxia sighed and was a little depressed. You can leave. I don't need you to monitor me. You can go back. Xiao Chen was a little stunned. A faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Although he was seen through, he felt a lot more relaxed. Otherwise, he would be misunderstood as a pervert all the time. That would be terrible. It's impossible to go back. I'm here to replace Xiao Meng. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau must be responsible for your safety. You know the nature of your father's job. Xiao Chen decided to tell the truth. Since the topic was already out in the open, there was no need for him to feign civility. I guessed it right? I only said Xiao Meng, and you already knew. You even know about the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. One look and I know you're from there. Su Chuxia glared at Xiao Chen. She was very angry but also a little helpless. Don't worry. It's impossible for those who want to get information from me. I won't say anything. Moreover, I really don't know anything. It's not as simple as you think. Someone might kidnap you and use it to threaten your father. Or they might use other extreme methods. We receive news that there are forces that want to deal with you. At least before the matter is resolved, I won't leave, Xiao Chen said directly. You'll affect my normal life. I'll feel uncomfortable if you follow me and monitor me every day. Su Chuxia was a little angry. Can't you consider other people's feelings? Sure. Anyway, I won't do anything to you. You can pretend that I don't exist. Xiao Chen said directly. Don't exist? Are you kidding me? You look at me with your binoculars every day and follow me to and from school. How can I pretend that you don't exist? Su Chuxia glared at Xiao Chen and said angrily, if you want to follow me, fine. If you know how to make yourself invisible, then I'll agree. If not, then you should leave as soon as possible. Invisibility is a little difficult. I need more practice to achieve it. I can't do it now. Xiao Chen said, I can make you invisible, but that's too troublesome. Pfft. Su Chuxia almost burst out laughing when she heard Xiao Chen's answer. Practice? Do you think you're practicing spells? You can practice invisibility? Can you be more normal? I'm talking to you about serious matters. Xiao Chen shrugged. He really didn't lie to her. Cultivators could really make themselves invisible. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said that once he reached the first level of the Foundation establishment stage, he could make himself invisible for a short period of time. I'm also talking about serious matters. You want me to give up? That's impossible. I have a mission, so I have to ensure your safety. Then I can only expose your identity. If you can't protect me, just like little Meng from before, Su Chuxia threatened. Is there a point? Xiao Chen smiled nonchalantly. You said it yourself. Just like little Meng from before, I'm his replacement. If you get rid of me, there will naturally be someone else to replace me. This is the decision of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. It's not something I can change. At most, I'll just replace someone else. What do you think? This. Su Chuxia fell silent after hearing what Xiaochen said. She wasn't stupid. Otherwise, she wouldn't have guessed Xiaochen's identity. Since Xiaochen said that, Su Chuxia understood that regardless of whether Xiaochen left or not, the Supernatural Investigation Bureau wouldn't give up on this mission. He was only an executor, not the decision-maker. So, there's no point in arguing about this. If I leave, there will naturally be someone else. Maybe it'll be someone even more annoying. Xiaochen finished washing the vegetables, placed them on the chopping board, and skillfully cut them. That's true. That little Meng from before was even more annoying. He wasn't as good as you at acting. He found out so quickly. Su Chuxia nodded and said, "But you have to protect my safety. Can you not affect my life? You don't have to follow me to and from school so closely, right? I'm not a child. If you do this, Kai Wuliang will think that you're pursuing me. If he thinks so, then so be it. What does it have to do with me?" Xiaochen narrowed his eyes. "Could it be that you actually like him? And you're afraid that he'll misunderstand?" "Of course not. I'm just afraid that he'll keep causing trouble for you," Su Chuxia said. "Oh, whatever. I don't care about Kai Wuliang. If he's annoying, then I'll just kill him," Xiaochen said calmly. "Huh? You want to kill someone?" Su Chuxia was a little surprised. "You can't just kill people randomly, right? Little Meng can't, but I can. My rank is higher than his," Xiaochen said directly. "You? Higher rank than him? He looks like an uncle. Even if he pretends to be young, he still looks a little old. But you should be around our age, right? How can your rank be higher than his?" Su Chuxia was a little confused. "Ambition doesn't depend on age." Xiaochen smiled. "He's my subordinate. Since he failed, the higher-ups will naturally send someone with a higher rank." "I don't believe you." "Oh right, let me see your work permit." "How can it prove your identity?" Su Chuxia seemed to have accepted this reality. She knew that Xiaochen was from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Even if Xiaochen went back, he would still send someone else. She could only accept her fate. Xiaochen took out his work permit and handed it to Su Chuxia. "Yang Jiannen? Your name is really despicable. You really live up to your name." Su Chuxia glanced at Xiaochen's work permit and said sarcastically, "Is this how you originally looked like? You didn't even look as good as you do now. One look and I can tell that you're a sinister person. Team C leader? You do look powerful. That's surprising." After Su Chuxia finished mocking him, she took the permit and examined it carefully. She checked several places for anti-counterfeiting before nodding. "It's the same as my father's. Looks like you're the real deal." Xiaochen put away the permit but wasn't angry at all. After all, she wasn't scolding him but that idiot Yang Tan. Even if she didn't scold him, he would. However, he didn't expect Su Chuxia to be so cautious. What a headache. "In that case, don't interfere with my freedom in the future," Su Chuxia said. "I never interfere with your freedom," Xiaochen said. "Since we've already spoken, cooperate with me. I'll pretend to pursue you. Don't reject me too much. Just keep a distance." "I have to cooperate with you?" Su Chuxia glared. "I don't want to do this. Do you think I want to protect you? If it wasn't for little Meng, would I have come?" Xiaochen was a little speechless. He had to leave his hometown and she didn't want to. "I don't have a choice. Cooperate with me." We'll quickly find the person who's after you. Then, everything will be over and I can relax. Su Chuxia was stunned. She thought that Xiao Chen was protecting her because she was unhappy. She didn't expect that Xiao Chen was also full of resentment. She couldn't help but say, I've lived this long before you guys came. Haven't I been fine? Aren't you guys worrying for nothing? No matter how daring those bad guys are, they won't do anything to me in broad daylight, right? Chapter 542. You're oversimplifying things. That was in the past. Things are different now. The research base has reached a critical point, so I will follow you no matter what. You should think about how to deal with our relationship in the future, Xiao Chen said straightforwardly. Su Chuxia hesitated for a while and frowned. She said, okay, I can cooperate with you, but why don't you chase after Sour? I feel like it's a little weird for me to cooperate with you. Chase after Sour? Do you think this suggestion is feasible? Xiao Chen asked Su Chuxia curiously. Why not? It's just a reason. Sour is easy to get along with. You can just treat her to meals more often. Su Chuxia suggested. I chase after her, and I will follow you home. Can the two of you live together every day? Xiao Chen asked. This. I don't think so. Su Chuxia shook her head. That's right. So if you want less trouble and worry, try to cooperate with me. Otherwise, if you keep resisting and cause a commotion, it won't be good for anyone. Xiao Chen nodded and comforted her. Are you threatening me? After hearing Xiao Chen's words, Su Chuxia almost died of depression. Okay, I'm afraid of you. Let's do this, but don't go too far. Okay, I will try not to harass you in school, but you can't leave the school's perimeter. Don't go out of the school gate at noon. If you want to go out, you must inform me immediately. Xiao Chen said. Otherwise, I can only follow you everywhere. Okay. Su Chuxia thought about it and felt that Xiao Chen was okay. At least he was easier to talk to than Xiao Meng. That guy was stubborn. Can you tell Sour about this? Up to you, but it's best not to tell her, Xiao Chen said. Then forget it. Although she is my friend, it's better not to let her know about this. I don't want her to be involved. Su Chuxia shook her head and denied this idea. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded. Hurry up and cook. I'm hungry. If I starve to death, let's see how you explain yourself. Su Chuxia snorted angrily and left the kitchen. Even though she had gone against her will to accept reality, she still had some anger in her heart. Xiao Chen did not bother to argue with her and continued with his work. Chuxia, why did you stay in the kitchen for so long? What did you say to Xiao Chang? Don't tell me you've thought it through and decided to give him a chance. Tian Suruan looked at Su Chuxia strangely. She had been watching TV for half an hour before Su Chuxia came out. Su Chuxia wanted to deny it, but she remembered her promise with Xiao Chen, so she said, I'll go and see if he really knows how to cook. And then? Tian Suruan looked at Su Chuxia curiously. It doesn't take that long to cook, right? I talked to him to see what he thinks, Su Chuxia said. Then what does he think? Tian Suruan asked. He didn't think much. He just said that if he wants to pursue me, I said it's not possible. He said that he won't force me to do anything, so let him be. Su Chuxia pretended to be very casual and said, if that's the case, then I don't care. It doesn't affect me anyway. Chuxia, why would you say that? Are you starting to like Xiao Chang a little and planning to give him a chance? Tian Suruan looked at Su Chuxia with a smile and asked. How is that possible? Su Chuxia could not help but be stunned for a moment. She quickly denied it. I just feel that he is very persistent, and he is not as annoying as Kai Wuliang, so I can't be bothered with him. What else can I do? I don't let him follow me, and he said he would go home. Aren't I just looking for trouble? I might as well let him be. That's true. Tian Suruan nodded and was a little surprised. I didn't expect you to think it through, Wuxia. Then I can eat with peace of mind later. Otherwise, I will feel burdened. If he asks me to help him pursue you, I will be in trouble. As the two of them were talking, waves of fragrance wafted out from the kitchen. Tian Suruan's eyes widened in an instant. Damn, Wuxia, Xiao Chang really knows how to cook. Right, this person is so strange. I thought he was a school bully, but now it seems that he is not. Su Wuxia frowned and defended Xiao Chen. Since she knew his identity, she naturally did not have her guard up and vigilance like before. However, whether it is delicious or not, we will only know after trying it. Tian Suruan nodded. After a while, a table of sumptuous dinner was placed on the table. The dishes that Tian Suruan ordered were all prepared by Xiao Chen and were placed on the table in order. Tian Suruan looked at the dishes on the table and was a little surprised. Xiao Chang, did you transfer from a cooking school? That's not right. Even those who graduated from a cooking school are not so good. I think you are a chef from a 5-star hotel, right? You really think too much. Su Wuxia did not think much of it. In her opinion, the people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau were very mysterious. They were all a group of people with special abilities. It was not surprising that Xiao Chen knew how to cook. Then I won't stand on ceremony. I will eat first. Tian Suruan picked up her chopsticks and prepared to eat. Su Wuxia was actually a little hungry, especially since the food on the table looked good. However, she was a well-behaved person. She still sat down and waited for Xiao Chen. She would not eat first before everyone else was at the table. By the time Xiao Chen came over, Tian Suruan had already eaten quite a lot. There was only food in her eyes. She was too lazy to even speak. Suruan. Can you be more mindful of your image? Su Wuxia looked at Tian Suruan, whose cheeks were bulging. She could not help but feel angry. This bestie was really embarrassing her. Fortunately, Xiao Chen was from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. He was considered one of them. Moreover, he was not really pursuing her. Otherwise, it would be really embarrassing. Hey! Wuxia, eat too. It's very delicious. Tian Suruan ate so much that she almost cried. It had been a long time since she had eaten such delicious food. It was simply too delicious. Wuxia, I think we should be friends with Xiao Chang. He really didn't attend. Did he buy you over with just one meal? Su Wuxia could not help but glare at her. Then, she picked up her chopsticks and slowly prepared to eat. However, Su Wuxia only took a bite and felt that something was different. Now, she finally understood Tian Suruan's actions a little. Even someone like her, who had such a well-behaved manner when eating, had the urge to gorge herself at this moment. It was really delicious. However, fortunately, Su Wuxia still restrained herself. She looked at Xiao Chen and pouted. Then, she continued eating. Xiao Chen smiled. Today's matter could be considered a happy ending for everyone. At least he did not have to continue being misunderstood by Su Wuxia. Although Xiao Chen made a lot of food today, in the end, they were all finished by Tian Suruan. Even Su Wuxia ate a lot more than usual. This time, she heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that Tian Suruan did not hate Xiao Chang anymore. This way, it would be more convenient for Xiao Chang to follow them. Suruan, let's go back early after eating. Su Wuxia reminded him. It was almost 8:00. Were they going to sleep here at night? Ah, that's right. Then, Xiao Chang, Sister Suruan will be leaving. Thank you for your hospitality. Sister Suruan is very satisfied. Tian Suruan waved her hand at Xiaochen. Next time you cook a big meal, you can call me. Wuxia and I are already here. Wuxia was so angry that she almost kicked Tian Suruan. Was she going to betray her so quickly? Fortunately, she knew what was going on with Xiaochen, so she did not refute. While Tian Suruan bent over to put on his shoes, Wuxia pointed at Xiaochen and said in a low voice, "Don't look at me with your binoculars again." Okay. Although Xiaochen said yes, he did not think much of it. What if there was a cat burglar looking for them? At the very least, he had to pay attention to it regularly. After Wuxia and Tian Suruan left, Xiaochen cleaned up the dishes and returned to the bedroom. He continued to observe the situation opposite him with his binoculars. He saw that Wuxia and Tian Suruan had already gone back. At this moment, they were watching TV on the sofa. The two of them were chatting and laughing, but no one knew what they were talking about. "Wuxia, your attitude towards Xiaochang seems to have changed a little." Tian Suruan swung his legs and leisurely lay on the sofa. "What's there to change? Anyway, I will never be in a relationship," Wuxia said with a firm attitude. "Okay." Tian Suruan nodded. "Huh. The bathwater seems to be ready. I'm going to take a shower." As he said this, Tian Suruan quickly took off his clothes. In a few seconds, he was completely naked. He even pulled down his miniskirt. "Huh? Suruan, what are you doing? Hurry up and put it on." Wuxia jumped in fright. She suddenly remembered that the curtains weren't closed yet, and Xiaochen might still be peeping on them. Thinking of this, she immediately wanted to stop Tian Suruan. However, she did not expect Tian Suruan to move so quickly. In a few seconds, he had taken off all his clothes. Then, he ran to the bathroom, leaving behind a wheat-colored silhouette. Wuxia slapped her forehead and stood up in pain. She closed the curtains and hoped that Xiaochen didn't see it. Otherwise, Xiaochen was actually stunned as well. He did not expect Tian Suruan to be so ferocious. The speed at which she took off her clothes was simply too fast. Before he could react, she had already seen everything. It was impossible for him not to look. "Forget it, I didn't do it on purpose." Xiaochen comforted himself. He did not expect Tian Suruan's skin to be so beautiful. Xiaochen thought that it would be nice to have a girlfriend like this. It would give him a different feeling. I'm thinking too much. I should quickly finish my mission and return to Songning. However, since the two of them were fine, Xiaochen also put down the binoculars. Then, he sat on the bed and began cultivating. Chapter 543. Not long after he sat down, Xiaochen's phone rang. To his surprise, it was the phone from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Moreover, it was an unfamiliar number. "Hello?" Xiaochen imitated Yang Tan's voice. "N?" The person on the other side of the phone was stunned. After a while, he asked, "Are you Xiaochang? That Yang Jianen?" Wuxia. Xiaochen recognized Wuxia's voice, so he recovered his voice. Previously, he had been using his own voice and not Yang Jianen's. Anyway, the Supernatural Investigation Bureau gave him a voice changer to carry out his mission. "Oh, it's really you. I thought I called the wrong number." Wuxia confirmed that it was Xiaochang's voice. "Why is your voice different?" "Oh, I have a voice changer." Xiaochen said, "What's the matter? Why do you have my number?" "Then don't worry about it." "Oh right, what were you doing just now?" Wuxia asked. "Just now? I was washing the dishes. You guys just left after eating, leaving a mess for me to clean up." Xiaochen said doubtfully, "Why? Why do you care about me?" "Oh, it's nothing. I was just asking." Wuxia sighed in relief. Fortunately, Xiaochen didn't see Tian Suruan undressing, so she said, "Suruan and I are going out tomorrow. We'll leave at around 9 in the morning. Get ready to follow us." In order to prevent Xiaochen from monitoring her all the time, Su Chuxia directly told Xiaochen their schedule. This way, she could relax a little. Otherwise, she would have to constantly be on guard against Xiaochen's peeping. "Okay, I got it. Happy working with you." Xiaochen was very happy after hearing this. It seemed that Su Chuxia planned to cooperate with him. This way, he didn't have to worry about the conflict between the two of them getting worse and exposing themselves. Oh. Su Chuxia hung up. Xiaochen looked at his phone and saved Su Chuxia's number. Su Chuxia probably had contact with the people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, which was why she got his number. The reason why she called was probably because of Sour. These days, Xiaochen's cultivation had been stuck at the 9th stage of qi refinement. He was only one step away from the peak, but he just couldn't go any further. This made Xiaochen depressed. However, Xiaochen also knew that this was due to the lack of cultivation resources. Firstly, he didn't have the help of spiritual jades. Secondly, the devil scorpion fruit hadn't been planted yet, so the supplementary medicine couldn't be decocted. If Xiaochen wanted to cultivate, he could only rely on the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. However, how much spiritual energy could there be in the city? "Xiaochen, you don't have to worry too much. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth here is sparse. It's not your fault that you can't break through. You can wait for the devil scorpion fruit to ripen or find other opportunities. With your current strength, unless you meet a very powerful person, you should be able to break through with this mission." The elder heaven ancestor's voice sounded in Xiaochen's ear, calming him down. Yes, his current identity was Yang Tan, and his strength was similar to Yang Tan's. Logically speaking, he shouldn't be in too much danger. Xiao Meng had protected him for a long time, but wasn't he still unharmed? Thinking of this, Xiaochen nodded. It seemed like he had to stop pretending to be Yang Tan for a while. However, this was also a good opportunity. If he completed the mission well and continued to build a good relationship with Xia Chuxia, he might be able to secretly investigate the reason for his father's disappearance. One had to know that the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was very powerful. However, Xiaochen couldn't do that now. It would be too easy to arouse suspicion. The night passed uneventfully. Tian Suruan and Su Chuxia lay in bed and chatted until midnight before falling asleep. When they woke up, it was already past 8 o'clock. Usually, they would wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's so comfortable. I really want to sleep in every day. Tian Suruan stretched and climbed out of bed. "Chuxia, where are we going to play today?" "I'm going to Azure Mountain today," Su Chuxia said after looking at the diary on her phone. Why are we going there? Didn't we say we're going to play video games?" Tian Suruan asked curiously. "What's there to play? It's so cold and windy on the mountain. Sister Suruan is going to freeze to death. I'm going to Tianqing Temple to ask for medicine for Grandma. Her rheumatic legs hurt unbearably every winter. But Taoist priest Lu Li of Tianqing Temple has a type of celestial water that can treat it. It doesn't hurt as much after applying it. I ask for some for Grandma every year," Su Chuxia said. "Huh? Temple?" Tian Suruan frowned. "Chuxia, your father is a scientist. Why do you still believe in this? Celestial water? Isn't that all a lie? Suruan, this Tianqing Temple isn't just any temple. I heard that the temple master, Taoist master Tian Xian, is a truly powerful person. He's a cultivator." Su Chuxia explained to Tian Suruan. "And their celestial water isn't like what you think it is. It's different if you put some paper ash in it. What they used was a medicinal liquid refined from some heavenly materials and earthly treasures." "Oh, it's similar to the medicine refiners in the warrior guild? Tian Suruan roughly understood. Then why don't you just ask for the medicine refiners? Why bother looking for them? They focus on health and healing, but the medicine sold by the warrior guild is for cultivation. That's different, Su Chuxia explained. Suruan, you'll know when you get there. There are many people asking for medicine every day. Not everyone gives it to them. It costs money. Tian Suruan really didn't care about that. Su Chuxia used to go there herself, and she only went once a year. Naturally, Tian Suruan didn't know. Money is secondary. The main thing is that you have to fulfill some conditions, and these conditions change regularly. In short, it's very troublesome to ask for medicine, Su Chuxia said. Last year, I went there several times in a row before I got it. That's so troublesome. Sigh. Tian Suruan was a little depressed. Right, didn't Kai Wuliang say that his family is very powerful in Lan City? Why don't we look for him? Let his family say something. That Taoist priest can't not give face, right? This. I don't want to trouble him. Su Chuxia was thinking that Xiao Chang was from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Wouldn't it be easier if he appeared? However, he couldn't reveal his identity so easily. If he was exposed, the Supernatural Investigation Bureau would replace him, just like what happened to Xiao Meng previously. Alright. Is there any good food on the mountain? Tian Suruan slowly put on his clothes. Why do you only know how to eat? Why don't you die from eating? Su Chuxia was a little speechless. Food was everywhere they went. That's a scenic area. The food is very expensive. If you want to eat, you have to pay for it yourself. I don't have money. My money might not even be enough to get medicine. Hey. Right, why don't we bring Xiao Chang there? He happens to be pursuing you, and he seems to be quite rich. How about giving him a chance to treat you? Tian Suruan suggested. Su Chuxia didn't know how to explain the coincidental encounter. She wanted to pretend that it had nothing to do with her, but if there were too many coincidences, there would be problems. She was also afraid that Tian Suruan would suspect that she was a secret. Since Tian Suruan took the initiative to ask, there was no problem. Thinking of this, Su Chuxia said, why bring him? If you want to bring him yourself. That's what you said. Then I'll bring him. Tian Suruan chuckled as if he had found the loophole in Su Chuxia's words. I'll go find him. Hey. Oh, right, I don't have his number. Do you? I don't either. Su Chuxia shook her head. Suruan, aren't you asking nonsense? How could I have his number? That's true. How about this? Let's go downstairs later. I'll press the doorbell and ask him to come down. Tian Suruan said after thinking for a while. Oh. Su Chuxia didn't object, but she didn't agree either. The two of them got dressed. Su Chuxia made some breakfast for Tian Suruan. Looking at the milk and bread in front of her, Tian Suruan frowned. Chuxia, isn't your breakfast a little too simple? It's very nutritious. It's fine if you don't want it. Su Chuxia didn't want to spoil her. Then I'll eat. Tian Suruan and Su Chuxia finished their breakfast and went downstairs together. Su Chuxia waited there while Tian Suruan pressed the doorbell. On Xiao Chen's side, he looked at the time. It was already 9:30. Just as he was getting dressed and preparing to go downstairs, the building's intercom rang. He pressed it and saw that it was Tian Suruan. He pretended to be confused. In fact, he was really confused. Suruan? What's wrong? What's the matter? Xiao Chang, I'm here to tell you that Chuxia and I are going to Azure Mountain. Hurry down. Tian Sour said sneakily, in order to repay me, let me tell you, you have to treat me to a meal later. Okay, no problem. Xiao Chen pretended to be surprised. He didn't want to pursue Su Chuxia at first, but now, for better acting, he pretended to pursue her. Anyway, he already told Su Chuxia, I'm going out to buy something. Wait for me, I'll be right down. Tian Suruan didn't have to wait for long before he saw Xiao Chen push open the door. However, Xiao Chen didn't see Su Chuxia, so he asked, Suruan, where's Chuxia? Tian Suruan turned his head and didn't see Su Chuxia either. He rolled his eyes and said, she's not here yet. I called you secretly. She'll be here soon. Look, sure enough, Xiao Chen saw Su Chuxia walk out of the unit door and looked over. In fact, Su Chuxia was afraid that it would be awkward to explain, so she went back again. Suruan, where did you go? Su Chuxia asked. Oh, I saw Xiao Chang coming downstairs. I spoke to him and he said he wanted to go too. Tian Suruan said. Oh. Su Chuxia didn't say anything. Chuxia, how are we going to get there? Don't tell me we're taking the bus. There's no direct bus there. We have to walk a long way. Tian Suruan asked. Chapter 544. Let's take a taxi. Su Chuxia did some calculations. It was hundreds of kilometers from here to Azure Mountain. Taking a taxi would cost a few hundred yuan, but she couldn't be stingy. Let's go to school first. I left my car there, Xiao Chen said. Huh? You have a car? Tian Souring was stunned. Then, she looked at Xiao Chen in surprise. Why didn't you say so earlier? We had to take the bus yesterday. You should have told me that Chuxia and I would have taken your car. Ahem. Souring, what nonsense are you talking about? Even if I had a car, I wouldn't take it. Su Chuxia said, but we have no choice today. Let's take a seat. Thank you, Xiao Chen. Then I'll go get the car. You guys go back and wait for me. Xiao Chen said. Sure. Chuxia, let's go upstairs first. It's too cold outside, Tian Souring said. Okay. Su Chuxia nodded. Xiao Chen didn't know that the two of them were going far away. If he had known, he would have brought the car back in the morning. Now, he had to go there at the last minute. However, as a cultivator, Xiao Chen could run fast. He didn't have to wait for the bus. He ran directly to New Moon Academy and drove back to the neighborhood. When he was downstairs, he called Su Chuxia. Su Chuxia's phone rang. Tian Souring's eyes were sharp. She saw the name, Xiao Chang, on the caller ID and was stunned. Huh? Chuxia, don't you have Xiao Chang's phone number? Why did you say so earlier? Are you two having an affair? Huh? Oh. I know. It must have been that day when I met a pickpocket in the car. Xiao Chang found out, then he took my phone and secretly entered it. Su Chuxia explained. I see. Tian Souring was just saying it casually. She didn't believe it and picked up the phone. Xiao Chang, I'm Sister Souring. Have you arrived? Yes, I'm downstairs. You guys can come down, Xiao Chen said. What car? Tian Souring asked. Jetta, Xiao Chen said. Huh? I thought it was a Porsche. Tian Wangchuan was a little depressed when he heard about the car type, but he had already returned the Maserati for maintenance. It was good enough that he still had a car. The two of them went downstairs. Su Chuxia didn't think there was anything wrong with the car. She wasn't a materialistic girl. As long as she could sit in a car, it didn't matter. After getting in the car, Tian Shosho felt that something was wrong. Xiao Chang, has your car been modified? Why was it so comfortable? There's no noise at all, and it's so smooth, without any jolts at all. Yes, I did. I spent the money to buy a Maserati, Xiao Chen said with a smile. Really? Tian Sourso didn't believe it. You'll know when we get on the highway. Xiao Chen laughed. On the other hand, Su Chuxia believed what Xiao Chen said. Since he was the leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, his car must have been modified to be bulletproof. Also, it should be like in the movies. The car should have some special functions, such as turning into an amphibious vehicle with the press of a button. He drove the Jetta straight to Shangqing Mountain. In the city, it didn't show much of an advantage. However, once he got on the highway, it was immediately different. Xiao Chen's speed immediately soared to 200 kilometers per hour. Wow, 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 wow. Tian Shosho was a little excited. Oh my god, it's so fast. It's even better than a sports car. This time, Sister Sourso believes it. You're really a godly car. Su Chuxia frowned. Xiao Chang, don't drive so fast. It's too dangerous. Xiao Chang was just showing Tian Shosho. Very quickly, the speed slowed down to normal. Anyway, this car belonged to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. No one would stop him, so he didn't mind. As Xiao Chen's speed slowed down, Tian Shosho suddenly felt less excited. She chatted with Su Chuxia casually. Chuxia, young people should know how to enjoy life. Racing is fun. It's so boring to drive so slowly. Tian Shosho still wanted the feeling just now, so she persuaded, Sister Sourso likes to chase after the feeling of speed. 9 out of 10 accidents are fast. The other one is an accident. Su Chuxia glared at Tian Shosho. Let's race to the arcade. Oh. Tian Shosho saw that there was no hope, so she could only give up. Oh right, Chuxia, what are you guys doing here? It's winter, there shouldn't be anything fun, right? Xiao Chen asked with some doubts. Sigh, don't mention it. Chuxia wants to go to Shangqingguan Temple to ask for immortal water to treat her grandmother's rheumatic leg. However, I think it's just a scam. Maybe it's mixed with some rheumatism ointment. Anyway, I don't believe it's that effective. Even those hospitals can't do anything about it. How can Shangqingguan Temple cure it? Tian Shosho was depressed. Oh. Xiao Chen was also slightly taken aback. He didn't expect Su Chuxia to believe in such things. However, he couldn't say anything, so he could only say, some things might be psychotherapy. Moreover, the elderly might believe in this. No, Xiao Chang, the immortal water here is really useful. As long as I apply it on my grandmother's rheumatic leg, it really won't hurt anymore. Su Chuxia said very firmly. If that's the case. Xiao Chen nodded and didn't refute anymore. Anyway, his duty was to protect Su Chuxia from harm. As for whether she was tricked or not, it didn't have much to do with him. Xiao Chen nodded and didn't say anything else. He continued to drive, but unexpectedly, Elder Heaven Ancestor said, Xiao Chen, don't doubt it. There are many capable people in this aristocratic family. Aren't you a cultivator yourself? I'm a cultivator. What does that have to do with that Taoist temple? Xiao Chen asked with some doubts. Cultivation refers to learning the Tao and cultivating one's true self. Discarding the false and retaining the true is called cultivation. Cultivation is also known as immortal cultivation and the cultivation of inner alchemy. Therefore, those true Taoist priests are also cultivators. Elder Heaven Ancestor continued to say, cultivators have existed since ancient times. The earliest can be traced back to the era of the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors. The so-called cultivation is just following a certain method to guide external energy into the body and purposefully temper one's body to achieve the goal of far exceeding the physical strength of an ordinary human. After that, it was Taoism who carried it forward. Since ancient times, there have been more than 80 cultivation sections. Depending on the sect, the cultivation methods are slightly different and ever-changing, but the goal is the same. It's just that most of them have declined since then. I'm not sure if what Su Chuxia said is true or not, but you are a cultivator yourself. Can you say that this profession is fake? Damn, so there's such a history. It seems like I'm ignorant. Xiao Chen was a little embarrassed. Yes, didn't he often use the Elder Heaven Ancestor's prescription to treat patients? There was an exit on the highway to Shangqing Mountain. Xiao Chen followed the direction indicated by the GPS and exited the highway. Not long after, a huge mountain appeared in front of him. The mountain peak was shrouded in mist, and it looked like it pierced through the clouds. It made people feel like it was a celestial mountain. It was very beautiful. Shangqing Temple was located halfway up Shangqing Mountain. The entire Taoist temple was extremely large. From the foot of the mountain, it looked very grand and imposing. This made Xiao Chen think of those celestial mountains and Taoist temples in those period movies. On the way, he already knew Su Chuxia's purpose, so he drove up the mountain. He couldn't help but feel a little emotional. This Taoist temple is really big. However, when I look closer, it's a little run down. From what you said, this Taoist temple should be very profitable. Why don't you rebuild it? Such a big Taoist temple, and it's an ancient building. Renovating it would cost tens of millions. If there are any complicated places, it would cost hundreds of millions. Even if they wanted to earn money, they would have to think about it. Tian Wangsu said, but you're right. I heard that this Taoist temple is quite profitable. They specialize in scamming people like Chuxia. Hey, Xiao Chang, why don't we partner up and invest in one? Pfft. Xiao Chen was a little speechless. Tian Wangsu's idea was really whimsical. Xiao Chen's car only drove a third of the way before it couldn't go any further. There was only a rugged mountain road above, and there was a large parking lot here. The other people who came here also parked their cars and walked up the mountain. What surprised Xiao Chen was that there were quite a lot of cars here. Moreover, many of them were luxury cars. It seemed that this Taoist temple might not be a scam. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so many people. Of course, he couldn't rule out the possibility that it was a scam. Even Su Chuxia was attracted to it, so one could imagine. After all, Xiao Chen felt that Su Chuxia wasn't the kind of person who would trust people easily. From the fact that she wanted to check his ID yesterday, he could tell that she was very vigilant and careful. The parking spaces here were almost all occupied. Xiao Chen looked for a long time before he finally found a parking space to park. However, he didn't expect that a Land Rover would cut in diagonally, and at a very fast speed, it wanted to occupy that parking space. The speed of the Land Rover was very domineering. It had no intention of slowing down at all. If Xiao Chen didn't stop and continued to drive to the parking space, he might be hit by the Land Rover before he could reverse his car into the parking space. This kind of person was actually relying on his arrogance and wishful thinking. He felt that others wouldn't dare to go head-on with them. Moreover, he also felt that his car was big and Xiao Chen's car was small, so he didn't dare to go head-on with him. However, if he met other people, he might have avoided it. However, Xiao Chen didn't care at all. He didn't speed up and continued to reverse slowly. Ah! Tian Wangsu screamed. She also saw the Land Rover that was driving crazily and was shocked. Su Chuxia also closed her eyes in fear. She blamed Xiao Chen in her heart. Why couldn't he avoid it? You're from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, yes, but the other party doesn't know. The driver of the Land Rover obviously didn't expect the Jetta to not avoid it and continue to reverse into the parking space. This made him a little scared. He had never encountered such a situation before.